All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 68. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who, in my opinion, is one of the premier content creators in the game, and whom I had the pleasure of meeting in the flesh at E3 2018. This Lord's positive energy and passion for multi-platform gaming is infectious with everything he does, whether it be his daily news videos, detailed beginner's guides, and behind the scenes in real life series, all done with insightful commentary and outstanding video production. Introducing the host and co-founder of the Arekkz Gaming YouTube channel and contributor to the VG247.com website, one of the top 5 dead or alive vlog creators in the game, and the Lord responsible for the best beard, snapbacks, and London swag on YouTube. The Wyvern King making his debut into the realm of the Lords. My man, Lord Arekkz Gaming. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I like that intro. Can I get you for like to intro all my videos? In fact,
I got you, bro. You let me know.
That intro was just good. I'm good. I'm good. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Ooh, absolutely.
Having Lord Cognito just narrate the entire day.
That was amazing. I'm like, wait, can I just get you to narrate? Yeah, like every.
Yo, you hit Lord Cognito up, man. I got you, bro. I got you.
That was amazing.
Hey,
Yeah,
Rox,
I'm good.
it was the part that he said introducing.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, dude, absolute pleasure to have you in the realm. You are definitely a lord in your realm, and it's only right that we had to show you the proper respect here at the round
Thank
table. So, are you ready to have some fun with the lords?
Oh yes. So
No
I'm
doubt.
looking forward to this.
No doubt, man. Let's do it. And of course, you know, we have the 4 horsemen of gaming, those usual suspects at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict. How you doing, sir?
We're doing pretty good. A little bit tired. People do sleep, so you can go in and call me Lord Sleep in the comment section.
You got that rest? You good to go?
But been a great day. XCOM's really took over my life.
Shout out to XCOM 2 War the Chosen.
Yeah, and then I got Lord John to play Monster Hunter yesterday again.
Wow.
He ended up getting killed by one of the Elder Dragons. He's like, I'm done. I'm like, John, how are you gonna leave after dying one time?
Shout out to Big Bad John, man. We got a chance to.
That's his name, Big Bad John.
Yeah, man. That's the man right there. Always cool game with him. So that's good. Got stuff in. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. And also the Sostradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati, and Lord Patreon himself. My man, Lord Sovereign. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing fantastic. Great to be here. Wide awake, just like Addict. Spent yesterday watching my Yanks get thrashed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was gonna say rest in peace, brother. Rest in pieces.
Listen, at least you're in the running, and it's
Oh,
not
no,
Bobby Bonilla Day for you, and it's not your team is getting broken up and everyone's getting traded. So you're doing quite all right.
Today, that's the only positive thing to say about the Mets today.
Yeah, they got a bunch of assets. They got a bunch of assets. We are the Mets.
Today,
Exactly.
the books open up today, every year to give Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million.
The disgust.
Until like 2030.
Okay, we're done with your segment. Moving on. And of course, we have the incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions, demands nothing less than that premium experience, and is the get money gamer.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King, how are you doing, sir?
We're doing incredible. You know, this is my day. This is my day because I got my Ace Spoon Coon, #1 dude that I go to for my information. My information man is on deck. I'm going to tell you right now, he was my ace in a hole. Every time somebody would tell me something, I knew exactly where to go to and what to use. And they couldn't refute it because his information was 100% correct at all times. Let me tell you something. I got no combat sport to talk about today, but if if you have not seen Luke Cage on Netflix, you are insane.
I gotta peep it. Yeah.
Yo, listen, they took Luke Cage from last season and ramped it up by a billion. The first 3 episodes is a little slow, and they got some stuff in there that you might not like. You're gonna toss that stuff out because they get right to the grind and right to the nitty gritty.
You mean that in the first episode I turned it off because of?
Well, you know what? I honestly think you a Jessica Jones type of man. and I'm not saying that in any negative type of way. I think Jessica Jones will lend to what you are looking for when you come to Netflix for Marvel stuff. This actually lends towards like my type of stuff, like alpha male type of things, where it the music, the aesthetics, the fighting. They fixed his fighting, guys.
Yeah, is he just doing the toss fool where he just
it has so many Easter eggs, Lord Cognito. It is for you.
Okay. Yes. Yo, the chat agrees. Just shout out to Lord Sonaldo. He says he's loving season of Luke Cage. He's about 8 episodes in.
Yes.
Chat feeling it. Okay. Nice. Anything else going on? That's good, but King. That's just been rocking the Luke Cage.
The Luke Cage, son.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Shout out to Zero in the chat, baby. That's what's up. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi Lord Cognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So before we get into what the Lords are playing this week, I want to start off with Lord Arekkz. His video game system history, his passion for that shared world shooter genre, career in the industry, I think even a stint at Microsoft, I believe. And what eventually led him to the creation of the Arekkz Gaming channel with his co-founder and partner in crime, who I got a chance to meet, the legendary 269. So, Lord Arekkz, let's start from the beginning. Like, what were some of the first video game systems you had?
Ooh, so starting way back, Sega Master System. When
Best interview of the year. He said the number one system.
The magic word, right?
Yeah. Well, because back then I was too young, so like my brother had it, and like I used to play like on his console, and it was the first game I ever played was Arekkz in Miracle World. So it came like pre-installed. Obviously, like the main character had the same name as me, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then so I played that for a while. Then my brother got an N64, so again I kind of still like shared the console with him, but used to buy like occasional games. And then my first console that I personally owned was a Game Boy Advance and then a GameCube.
Wow, nice.
Because that was
a lot of people don't like the GameCube, but I thought it was awesome.
Oh, I love that. That console was incredible. It's got an amazing controller.
There's a game called Gotcha Force that no one knows of that I just was obsessed with.
I've heard of it. I don't think I played it, but I've heard of it.
Nice. Yeah. Give me some game before. Let's go back just a second. For them, I know your Master System was the first. What was some Master System games you like? And then we're going to the GameCube games, like for you, like your core favorite games on those platforms.
So, Master System would definitely be so Arekkz in Miracle World. I also played Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusions, right?
Ooh, Lord Kaibots was loving you, Lord. Wasabi was loving you right now.
Oh my!
And the crazy thing is, right, those games to this day, like I don't think I've ever still fully completed them because those ones are tough. Like you get to the end, you die, you have to start the whole game again. It's just like there's no save. I went back to years later and played it on emulator, and it let you save, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't save mid game. That's just cheating. I was like, you need to play the whole thing.
Don't it feel wrong?
Yeah, exactly right. And like, so people like games back in the day, they used to be tough. But then there was that, and there was also the I'm pretty sure unless it was a different name, there was a Ninja Gaiden on Sega Master System that had like a really cool soundtrack.
Okay.
So there was that. So
nice.
those ones stood out. But yeah, I think most of my like big games, like my favorite games of all time, come on the N64. That was like when it started to really kick in.
Okay, so give me some N64 ones. Give me some standouts.
So Ocarina of Time,
nice.
Because Zelda is above all like my favorite franchise ever. So,
Lord Arekkz loving you now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Final Fantasy is my favorite franchise, but Zelda's second.
Okay. So that's the thing, because for me, because I grew up, when I was growing up, it was only like whatever consoles like my brother had, and then so I went from there. So I grew up as a Nintendo kid. Like I didn't actually get a PlayStation until PS3.
Ooh, wow.
I was literally purely. I went Sega Master System, 64, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Wii, 3DS, or like DS, and then finally I got a PS3 because my friend started at school. He was like, "Yeah, you should get this and like play together." And then it was when I met 260 I got a 360. So I was like full on like just Nintendo kid for a large chunk of my life.
Wow, that's what's up. That's an interest. Now here's the thing though, like because you started Sega, then you kind of switched off to Nintendo, which is a unique startup. So my question is like, did the Genesis or any of that not interested you? And then also the question I had is, I noticed you said you started at PlayStation 3 as opposed to PlayStation 1. Like, did those not interest you? Or I'm just curious about the gaps.
So for me, it was. I mean, at that age again, it was based on like whatever my brother got because like I didn't like when I was younger, so I didn't really.
I understand.
It was kind of like a sort of shared thing. So
financially, you was not there. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. I was like, my pocket money just wasn't going to save on PS1. I could buy like Pick a Mix sweets or something like that, but that's about it. But yeah, so like he, I think at the time like he was just interested in like 64, and then kind of when we made the switch to Nintendo, it was just like that was kind of all we were really interested in because again, like with him as well, like he played it, but we weren't really going to be like. Parents wouldn't have bought us like multiple consoles at that time, so it's like you got the 64, and then because also back in that day, like parents were just like a game console is a game console. Like, what's the difference between this PlayStation, this N64? Like they both play games.
Hating on you. They was hating on you.
Yeah. So exactly right. So back then you're limited and stuff. But then I used to play games for like so much longer then as well, right? Because you buy like a cartridge and it's like this is gonna last you for a good few months. Like you're gonna play this game,
and it's indestructible.
Yeah, exactly right. Whereas like now you play it 8 hours and like yeah done. Let me move on to my next game. It's like no. So yeah. So I just kind of grew up with like a massive N64 back catalog, and then obviously because they're the games that I grew up with, like I never really felt like I was missing out because I was like I didn't really know at the time. I didn't like none of my friends had them either. Like they were all on N64, so we all kind of just like lived in that little bubble. So I didn't really like know about the PlayStation games that much. So yeah, I just kind of and they were the franchises that I built up with. So obviously when GameCube came out, I was like, yeah, it's just more of what I love. And then we came out, but then when we came out and there were like some good games, but then afterwards I was like, all right, there's kind of nothing on this console for a bit. I was like, as a gamer, I need to go elsewhere.
hey, the Wii came out with Twilight Princess. So
yeah, it came out with Twilight. The thing is, that's why it was super solid, right? I was like, it came out and I was great for a while. But once I'd done Twilight Princess and I played a few other things and I played like some questionable games like Red Steel and I'm roving around like a samurai. I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to broaden my horizons now. So
no doubt, man. I can respect it. That's what's up, man.
The crazy thing is, back then, even then, I got a PlayStation 3, but for like the first 2 weeks, I didn't actually have games for it. So I downloaded all the demos on PlayStation Network, and I just basically played the demos.
Wow.
And I was like, and I literally was like riding the Burnout Paradise demo, like non-stop. That game was so good. And then I finally got like my first PlayStation game, and then yeah.
Nice. So you started off at 3, and then you also said you had a 360. That's where. Now, did 6ix9ine get you to the?
Yeah. So I got my PS3. Yeah, I guess like super late when I left. Like in the UK, it's called like sixth form, and then like so when I went to university and I met 2-6. That's where we first like met.
Cool.
It was kind of cool because like we chat about games and stuff, and he's like, no, you need to get yourself a 360 because back then like it's funny because the way that sort of it's shifted now, but like back then like Microsoft was I'd say like a little bit more dominant in like the kind of the sort of games they had because there was that there was that slow period for PS3 for a little bit where like it had a few things but there wasn't much happening. So he was like, yeah, get yourself a 360, and then it was like around Christmas time, so there was like a bundle. So I bought that. I got Gears of War 2 at the time. It was Halo Reach and a few things like that. So, and then it was kind of cool because obviously I just met him, but like we just go like every evening we kind of go home from university, just sit in party chat, and then just like play games. So it kind of became like a way to like become friends at the same time.
That's what's up.
It was really cool. And then obviously then suddenly I like started to heavily gravitate towards Xbox. It became like my main system. I was like always on Xbox, and I barely play my PS3.
Shout out to 2-6.
Exactly, yeah. And then from that point onwards, I was like, well, like now I've experienced the multi-console life. Now I can't go back. So then from then on, I just bought every console.
Listen, man, I feel you, bro.
Sega was his gateway drug into this life.
Exactly. Right? However, despite that, I always have and I always will be a Nintendo kid at heart. Like that is the special place for me. Like no matter what. My Switch goes everywhere with me.
Talk about. Say it again because we got a couple of hating lords in here.
Nintendo
don't hate on it, but
they be hating Arekkz. Lord King and Lord Addict be hating when me and Sovereign talk about Switch.
I'm not going to say that his facts is not factual because there's no Destiny on the Switch, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
Oh, no, man.
You literally,
Switch.
hey, you realize every game in this, every topic, every game that's in these topics, none of them are on the Switch.
Yo, shout out to Digital Tiger. He said PS3 has the best gaming library ever. Then Ibantis is saying Nintendo for life. They love you out here, man. Arekkz, you love it.
I mean, like, the Switch has got Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's the only game you need in your life. If you can only play one game.
Yes, that's right.
Arekkz, out of curiosity, when Nintendo announced that Luigi's Mansion is a 3DS exclusive and not a Switch, is that a little hurtful?
I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I can't go back to my 2 or 3DS now. I'm just like, it's a great console, but I can't do it.
I used to play Final Fantasies on the Vita, and after I played the Switch, I was like, yeah, I gotta get rid of this Vita. I can't play it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel you, man. So yeah, man, you got great console history. Now, obviously, that led you to where you are. I mean, as far as now, you pretty much got everything. You know what I mean? So so what I wanted to do is like also talk about as far as your gaming history. Like, I consider you like the lord of like the console shared world shooter, like MMO light, like we talked about offline. So I want to know, like, because basically I know like you for some of the best coverage on Destiny like I've ever seen on the net. Shout out to Lord King, because I came across your content through BG247.com, 247.com, and then like I seen you kind of like go from Destiny, you evolved in Division, now Anthem. So like, how did that passion thought for those type of games, like the console MMO like shared world shooter kind of deal?
So that kind of works. I suppose sort of, reaching to those games, that actually came from 2.6. So I mean, because I suppose if we sort of go way back, like he's the one that actually suggested we start the channel in the first place. Kind of when we first started like YouTube, it was sort of more like random content. We just uploaded videos for like things that we were playing and stuff. But then and obviously with 2.6, because he grew up playing on Xbox, so he grew up with Halo. So like naturally, when Bungie were working on the next thing, like, he already knew about it. So like way before, like when they first announced it, I hadn't even heard about it. He was like, "Yo, there's this game coming out called Destiny that we should definitely check out." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So obviously I started like paying attention to it because he pointed me in the direction. And then at the time, obviously we didn't really know like what it was going to be. Beyond that point, but we obviously played a lot of MMOs. We used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, a lot of other games like that. So we were into the kind of like MMO genre, and like the way that they described it, like pre-launch, obviously it looked like it was going to kind of fill that space. So, so we started like pre-covering it. Again, like all this was like before it came out. Like we started around the alpha and stuff, so we got like a little bit of hands-on, and then just started to try and like do all the coverage like that. And obviously once it came out, and then we realized that it was like it was something that we really enjoyed because it sort of gave us that sort of feel that we got from like, wow, without it having to consume like your entire life, right?
Facts.
yeah. And then obviously but then the interesting thing about that as well, that was kind of a turning point for the channel, because before then we used to just cover games we were playing, but we kind of didn't really have like a schedule. We would just be like, oh, we're playing this game, and there might be like a week where there's like loads of games come out, so we just throw up loads of videos, and there might be like a period of time where there's nothing that comes out, so we just don't make videos. So Destiny basically became the time where we started doing daily content, because there was always something to talk about in Destiny. So we were like, all right, they can actually do that. So Destiny kind of, even though we covered a lot of things before then, we started to grow before then. Destiny was sort of the first spring for the channel. It was like, right, this is this got us, kind of gave us a kick up the backside. We're like, all right, this is what we need to do. This is like what we're gonna start covering. And then it kind of led from there. And obviously there were expansions and stuff, and it just kept on like the content kind of sort of made itself, right? There was always people always wanted to know something, whether it's about weapons, whether it's about exotics, like just something, right? And then obviously because that space started to gain traction, then other people started to, then Division came about. Again, that was from 2.6. He was like, yo, this like I kind of missed it at the time. And he was like, yo, there's this game coming out. Keep your eyes on this one as well. And then that one we started super early. We started pre-covering Division about 2 years before it came out.
Wow.
So covering a game that early is hella difficult, right? Because there's nothing. Right.
I would assume that because you're covering it that early, though, once the game came out, you're probably one of the go-to people for that content because you've been covering so long.
Listen, let me tell you something. He showed me that loot cave, okay, and that's where my love affair with you started. I said,
loot cave, D1, baby.
Yo, I said, because I'm at VG24 and I'm on it so hard. And your Destiny content was so precise and it was so up to the moment because I kept refreshing and I catching your videos. And I said, okay, I get to the point. I'm looking at the video and I'm moving the TV to get to the exact spot. I said, this is the cave he's talking about. So I stay there, and people don't know what I'm farming, but I know what I'm farming.
Yeah,
because you told me, right? So, and yes, your content on the Division was insane because these guys in this room right here don't like the Division. But
I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. It was just that in the beginning, I didn't dislike it. I dislike it afterwards, but they've improved. I guess my issue was the game itself was good. It was solid. I guess my only issue was just I was thinking it was going to have more of an end game, like what they're talking about now. Like now they're talking about 8-player raids, and now they got my attention.
It's not, but they did go on there and say, well, remember what was that thing called that was rumored that was their version of the raid?
Oh, they said it was Rikers Island, and I was like, oh, King, yeah, I gotta get that King for that one. He's like, I'm telling you, Rikers Island.
Listen, man. The content was good for me. He taught me how to build my character spec by spec to go into the dark zone and not be fearful. And I was able to, and it, like your video be like, oh, you can go into the dark zone alone. I'm like, alone? For real? and you be super tanky. And I said, his content was so incredible. And the fact that you are on today, this is like a little mini coup for myself because he's like, yo, this is your guy. Your guy is coming on this Sunday. I'm like, what? I said, I don't know how he pulls these strings. I don't know how Cognito does what he does, but thank God he does it because I love it.
Yeah, man. Listen, people, I low key fanboy because I was at the kind of media with a shout out to Lord Sam Turbo in the building in the chat, and TICGameNetwork.com, and we're at media and press, and I'm like, I literally stopped what I was doing. I was supposed to go over to what is it, Jump Force?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, that's Arekkz. So I fanboyed out for a minute. And I was like, bro, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? He was so cool, man.
It's good to meet you. It's good to meet you.
Absolutely. And then I met, like I said, 2-6, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. So like just the whole process. But yeah, man, I was like, dude, we got to do it. He kept his word, man. I really appreciate that.
No, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So with, like I said, with the Sharewell shooter, and we know you for that and all that good stuff. So we got into that. Now I got to get into something that you got to help me with now, Lord Arekkz.
Sure.
Okay. Now you got to help me because I want to talk to you about Monster Hunter.
Hey,
specifically.
I can talk about that.
All right. You know what I'm saying? You are the Wyvern King. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out Lord Advantis. I want to shout out Lord Zero, Lord Jez Gordon from Windows Central, and Lord Richard Fogey, who we had on last episode from Undead Labs. These guys are the hugest, biggest. I mean, they love Monster Hunter so much. Like Lord Fogey was like, remember he said he was in his top 5. He could put it in all 5 games. Lord Sam, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta ask you because to be honest with you, Lord Arekkz, I'm terrified of that game. I'm terrified in the sense that not that it's terrible. It's just, I'm afraid what that game might do to me. And I see your videos and I see the grind and everybody having it. And that was during a period when Destiny was dead.
It's a fun grind though. Destiny
but
is not a fun grind.
I got Destiny taking
in the bushes. Throw it in the bushes. I got my money back. All right, Lord, listen.
Good, Arekkz,
Lord Arekkz knows my frustration and hate with that game. I hate that game on a level of a billion. If they can throw it in the bushes and never let it out, I would love that. Because
Wyvern King, the Monster Hunter champ right now in the building.
That's nice. I hear that part. But listen, Lord Arekkz knows. We try. And Lord Arekkz, shout out to you, man. Because he actually was holding my hand going through it. And I'm like, okay, so why the hell must I log into the lobby and hope I get up to meet you? Hey, he said, go to this board and talk to this lady, and then maybe we could have a friendship and jump into this cold thing. And we did that for a half an hour, and we finally got to fight one monster together. And I said, this is straight trash. And I called Microsoft, and I said, Microsoft, I made a mistake. Can I have my money back?
Lord Arekkz, help educate me again, because again, King scared me from the cooperative aspect, but all my friends are playing this game. Everyone that's been on the show is playing this game. I see the videos you do. Help a guy like me understand what is the appeal to your lore.
When Monster Hunter first came out, I put like 4 days straight into it.
Talk to me, Lord Arekkz. Help me.
All right. So I mean, first up, I appreciate. So based on what King was saying, I will say on Xbox around launch there were some difficulties trying to party up. So it sounds like your initial experience was probably right. And also, this was a weird thing because this is the one thing in World that they did that was kind of janky. They've never done it in previous games before. Partying up to play the online thing, the online story. This time around was really weird because of this weird notion that you had to basically watch the cutscene before you could party up. So you had this weird disjointed thing where people would join a quest, watch a cutscene. Yeah, you watch a cutscene, you leave the quest, and you rejoin again. It was a weird system, but the thing is, that's kind of like your quote unquote golden line. Once you get past that and you've done like the story means nothing in Monster Hunter. That's just like your tutorial, if you will. Once you get past that, you never experience that again, and then multiplayer is just like seamless. It's seamless. It works. It's fine. There's no problems. Then you don't have any of those issues, and then you can just like stay partied up the whole time and just hunt everything together.
Think of the story as in Destiny's story. It's a chore. It's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. Because also they did it a slightly different way. Because in previous games, it was actually separated. Like in all the handheld ones, you'd have like an offline section that you can only do yourself, and you have the online stuff. Whereas in this one, they basically blur the lines where everything can be done together. But then because they wove the story into it, and they were so like, you need to do that. So I'll admit, like, if this was your first time with it, and like the very first experience, that little bit was a bit kind of janky to get past. But when you can see past it, so Monster Hunter itself, like, and especially given that coming from places like playing games like Destiny and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that would appeal to you. So if you see every single monster as like a badass boss that you just need to like learn the mechanics for, because every single monster behaves differently, plays differently. You have to study, you have to watch it, right? And then but then because you don't have the life bar, it's kind of that sort of feeling that you get when you play games
with no, not to cut you, but with no life bar, like, does it have like almost like a Call of Duty damage system where the more red on the screen kind of deal?
No. So you have a health bar. Yeah. You have a health bar, and then when you're fighting the monster, like gradually you weaken it, and then it'll have tells like like a real wild animal, like
the monster itself doesn't have it.
Yeah. So you'll keep attacking, then parts of the monster will break off. You can cut off the tails. It'll start to like limp away, or start to when it gets really weak, it'll go and sleep. So you have kind of tells. But it has like that sort of feeling because you're not chipping away at a health bar that you can see all the time. When you finally do pull off when you finally defeat the monster for the first time, it's super satisfying because then you carve it up, you get all the parts from it, you go back to the smithy at base, and suddenly you can see this armor set you can make from this monster, right? And there's like a whole plethora of different weapons you can make as well. Like pretty much every monster has a weapon, has like a variation of one of the 14 weapons. There's slight variations, but generally speaking, they have them. Then you have armor sets as well, and then suddenly, so you go back and you see this armor set, you're like, all right, I need like another 10 pieces, another 10 scales from this. So you go and find that monster again. And again, you do that, and once you finish it, you have your full armor set. You feel badass. Then you're like, all right, let's go fight the next thing, and you're repeating the process. But every single time you fight something new, and you come back and you're just like, yo, this looks awesome. Like you want to start piecing that together. It's just like it basically taps into like from what you do in Destiny, like, in the way that you kind of repeat like strikes to get good weapons, or you repeat raids to get that kind of stuff. It taps into that feeling.
Gotcha.
But it's not boring.
No, it's definitely not boring. Like, that's the thing as well. Like because every like I mean. But some of it is some of the sort of like mechanics do require sort of a little bit getting used to, because the weapons behave very differently. There's 14 different weapons. You're not bound to once.
They're drastically different.
Yeah.
Now what about like, for example, see, to me what separates Destiny, in my opinion, is that raid, right? So I see that they have a cooperative aspect, but do they have any like world events where multiple players can kind of get together and stuff like that?
Not like there is one thing they had recently. It's definitely exists in a different genre. I will say it's important to remember that like while there are certain aspects you can sort of see similarities in, Monster Hunter definitely doesn't exist in that space per se. So you're not like raids weren't the sort of thing that would necessarily fit in with it. That being said, they did recently release a new activity, which is like this one special monster that has 16 people working together, but you don't actually see all 16. It's basically 4 groups of 4.
Stop laughing.
But to be clear, that's not really what Monster Hunter like was going off. Like the similarities kind of are linked into sort of like the loot and the gear grind and stuff, but they don't necessarily. Beyond that, it's more. I'd say beyond that, it shares more similarities with something like Dark Souls than it would say Destiny.
Yeah, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
And that's probably why I'm a little turned up, because I'm not a Dark Souls guy.
No, it's more forgiving than Dark Souls. It's way more forgiving. What I don't like is, and like you said, there's no energy bar, and I don't like the pre-canned stuff. Like you shoot him, and then he'll run to a different section, and he'll fall asleep over there. I just got so sick and tired of that part right there that I tried so bad. I tried with that game. I said, because it did look nice on my X, and I said, this really looks nice. But I said, it sucks so bad.
Oh my God.
Yo, but I used a crossbow gun that I said, okay, maybe it's the weapon because I was using some big broadsword and I really
Arekkz,
hate
help him, Arekkz.
Yeah. No, he can't help me. He can't help me. I'm done. I'm baked. I'm cooked. I threw it straight in the bushes. It's in the bushes.
That the early launch, cooperative technical issues and the quality of life has since improved. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that the nice thing about Monster Hunter is that if ever you do decide to get into it or get back into it, right? The nice thing about it is that it's the way that the space that exists in as well. Unlike something like Destiny, where you kind of like you can fall behind. In Monster Hunter, right? Like because it's like although it's got online, there is essentially like sort of like an end point you can get to, and then beyond that point you just grind whatever you want. So you wouldn't get to a point where like if you jump in the game, you're like, oh, everybody's like ahead of me, I'll never catch up, because that's not sort of the way that the game works. Like, for example, like in Destiny, if it's like, oh, I fall behind on the power gear grind, they introduce something new, oh, I'm not strong enough to do this activity. It's not like that in Monster Hunter, because technically speaking, in Monster Hunter, I could go and get like the beginner weapon and the beginner gear and go and find something later. It'll take me a hell of a lot longer, but because in Monster Hunter, it's not like you don't level up, right? Your quote unquote leveling up is just getting better gear. So it's just your skills to get better. So the nice thing about that is it is actually quite a good game that can sit alongside things. Like I could go, let's say Forsaken comes out, right? And I put Monster Hunter on hold for a month. Yeah. I'm not going to fall behind. There's not going to like.
See, I like that. I do like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so the one thing they do, of course, they're releasing a ton of like free DLC. Like at the moment, it's been roughly give or take every month or month and a bit. There's been like a new monster added. And obviously, all that's completely free, right? So it's just additional content. And obviously, every time there's a new monster, there's new gear, there's new weapons, there's stuff to do. So apart from when those come in, sometimes they come in and they're permanently added. Sometimes they come in as event quests that rotate in and out for a few weeks. But yeah, generally speaking, like when it does come to the point where I have to play something else and I have to put Monster Hunter on the world like on the back burner for a bit, I'm not going to fall behind. I'll just be able to come back in and just so with that in mind, it's definitely something worth diving into. But I will say, yeah, if you're looking to sort of like play with people, like look past the sort of the story bit, because like once you get past that, it's a little bit weird and janky. Like if you it is one of those things that like if the Monster Hunter kind of grind and the feel good part of the combat clicks with you, you will be forever hooked, right? Now,
I'm gonna ask you two more questions in reference to this, because one, obviously, I'm a big Switch fan. Yeah, and a lot of my time is on the go. I'm at work. I have time where I'm traveling a lot, so the Switch is a big part. So obviously, I know they're coming out with a Monster Hunter World Ultimate, and I did a little coverage on it, and it looked pretty solid. Now, my question is, would that be a good beginner way for me to kind of just get into it, or is Monster Hunter World probably the way to go?
Monster Hunter World is a lot more streamlined. Like the one that's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, talk to me.
Don't touch. You'll get confused.
Yeah. Don't. I'm very tempted. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm very tempted.
I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I even did like a video on this, and I even mentioned I was like, I did say that like Monster Hunter Generations and Generations Ultimate by extension, like they're not good places if they're your first entry point to Monster Hunter. Because the thing with those previous ones, like Monster Hunter doesn't really have like a story that tells you too much anyway. Like previous games have had like a little bit, they will kind of work it in. But Generations is very much like, because it was created as like a celebration title. Like it had a lot of monsters from the previous games. It had like a lot of weapons they added into like the new style. So it's basically designed as like a celebration sort of festival title that had like a ton of content. I'm talking like, World has got like 30 monsters. This has like 70, 80 plus monsters, right? You've got like hundreds and hundreds of gear sets, hundreds of weapons, right? Because it's basically got everything. But the problem with that is that it drops you into the game. It's like, have fun.
Oh, it's not even. Wow!
You got to
hold your hand.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously still need to work through the quest, but you go into your box. It's like, all right, here's 14 starter weapons. Like, all right, can I have some tutorials? Go out there, hunt something.
Wow.
And then also in Generation they introduced like styles as well. So different ways to use those existing weapons. Again, they're just like, how am I going to find out to use that? Equip it and go and kill something.
Yeah. They literally have no way of like, they don't really do tutorial.
Wow.
Monster Hunter is like, you learn yourself. If you get killed 50 times using that weapon, you're probably not using it right.
So Ultimate Generation is more of an archaic kind of.
However,
what's up?
What I will say, right, though, is that like I do absolutely love Generation Ultimate. Like it is an amazing game, but I feel like because also this is something I realize that with my channel, like there's a lot of people that have got into Monster Hunter with World, and I'm like, if you've discovered Monster Hunter with World and you've realized that you like the game and the sort of like the space it exists in, then I would recommend going to Generation Ultimate, because then once you have like an understanding of like this is what this game kind of offers, then you can get to, because the nice thing about World is that much earlier on in the game, you get introduced to like the good stuff. You start hunting like cool monsters. Whereas in the previous game, the very first like say couple hours, you're kind of doing like these remedial tasks, like gathering like mushrooms and flowers and bugs and stuff, and then like you do that to kind of get out of the way. Whereas yeah, I mean, that as well, yeah. But whereas in Monster Hunter World, they introduce those as like things you can do as alongside when you're doing a main quest, right? So like it's a lot more right at the start. You're hunting something cool. So there's a lot of things you kind of need to get past. But once you do get past those hurdles, there's so much stuff in there. So I'd say, if anything, kind of
a recommendation. What does Arekkz recommend for me?
Yeah, I'd say if you get a chance, jump on World, kind of like get a feel for the game. Know that obviously Ultimate did come before, so there's some quality of life stuff that's been introduced in World that won't be present in Generation Ultimate, right?
Gotcha.
But if you play World, you can be life right now.
Yo, listen, what he's saying is jump into the new joint and then scale back your expectations. when you jump into the other joint, and trust me, listen, I'm telling you, Lord Cognito, listen, man. I'm like, this game, I know you want to throw your Switch into some serious stuff.
Yeah, I was
right
game.
Yo, this is not it. And if they're telling you, you listen to the warning signs, all right? They love this game. The warning signs is on the wall. He's telling you, don't do it.
Look, if anything, I would say Worlds is a tutorial for generations.
Listen, he's going to buy that game. He's going to buy the game because he wants to be on the go and show that he has Monster Hunter.
Oh, my God.
Shut up. He's not going to... Listen, they buy games just to show that it's on Switch.
Why can't we buy the game because we enjoy it on Switch?
Oh, man,
he likes it for that. He likes it for that epic part where he looks through the library. He's like, look at all these games I got.
Oh my God.
Yo, listen. I'm gonna prove this point right now. I'm gonna prove the point right now.
Oh my God. You see what
Lord
I did?
Sovereign. Lord Sovereign, do you got the new Wolfenstein for the Switch?
Nope. I did that one
time.
I did it one time as an experiment. The only way they could get me to do it again would be day and date release with the other consoles and some sort of cross save feature.
You know what? So I must take that back because I thought y'all two.
You thought we run out on every port?
No. Yes, I thought y'all two individuals was like, it's on Switch still. Like,
all right, two questions.
You mean that definitive version, the best version?
Best version.
You mean the one that looks so blurry you can't even see stuff when you're being shot at?
It's called Switch, the Vaseline edition.
All right, two questions for Marty. Then we'll move on from Monster Hunter World for Arekkz. One by Lord Zero and shout out to my man Lord Bloody Knuckles. They were saying, are you excited for the summer update to Monster Hunter World?
Definitely,
right,
cool. Super.
And then the second shout out to my man Sonaldo. He says, how do you feel about the belated PC launch of Monster Hunter World? Do you think it's going to be as big as before?
I think it's definitely still like there's a lot of people that really want to get into it. There's tons of people still asking. Like, I get comments and videos on Twitch and stuff like, when are we hearing stuff about PC? And there's a lot of people that have been like that have actually held out. They want to experience it on PC. I mean, obviously, it's interesting whenever you have a staggered launch. I don't feel like, the second launch will never be quite as big as the first one. They've already kind of like done massive numbers with it. But I still feel like there's a lot of people that will be hyped for it and get into it. So, it could almost be like a second win for the game as well, right? So
no doubt. All right, Lord Zero, I'm going to give you this last question and we're done with Monster Hunter. Let me start. All right, Lord Zero asks, ask him what your thoughts on the Final Fantasy Behemoth coming to Monster Hunter.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's a really cool collaboration because in the past, obviously, they typically do collaborations with like you'll get a cool armor set from like another IP or like a weapon, but like
that's dope.
to actually have like a monster physically from another game come in, really cool. And there's a speculation I've kind of got as well. Like it looks like it's got a similar skeleton as a monster that everyone kind of wants to see added to the game, like it one from a previous thing called So like because a lot of these monsters, although they behave differently, some of them, if they're like the same type of monster, they'll share the skeleton. It looks remarkably like it could have as an ogre skeleton. So I'm hoping that could maybe mean that we get that like further down the line, but.
So out of curiosity, what other monster would you like to see from Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter?
So here's the
you don't play Final Fantasy.
Now I'll tell you this, if y'all got Leviathan, I might have to jump in.
No, there's a monster in there called a Marlboro. It's like a big, I can't even describe it. I don't know how to describe it to you. But it pretty much shoots acid and stuff and gives you a bunch of. It's one of the most famous. I would say the Behemoth is one of the most famous, but I would feel like that would be a better thing to fight in it because like it's got a move called Bad Breath, and it gives you every bad element in the game. It gives you dizzy, all of that.
Wow.
So like I would like to see something like that. I feel like out of all the Final Fantasy monsters they could have picked, they picked the one I didn't want.
Fair.
Good, Arekkz.
Yeah, to be honest, I just want to like although the collaboration ones are cool, there's definitely a few that I definitely want to sort of see come back. Like I'm missing I want to see Zenoga, Tigrex. I want to see Rajan come back as well. Like there's just like a load of cool monsters. But yeah, I mean, I think if they can do more of these collaborations as well, it'd just be cool to it's all free content, right? It's all just like reasons for people to kind of check back in as well. So
it brings life into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we got through the Monster Hunter segment. Thank you, sir. So yeah, man. Now I just want to get down to your career because obviously I heard you possibly had an X role at landing a job at Microsoft. So I wanted to know like which role specifically, and then also in conjunction with that, getting that connection from where I know you on VG247.com. So let's start with Microsoft. Like, how did that come about? And what was your role?
Sure. So again, it kind of works with 2-6. So like 2-6 and I obviously we met at university. We both did like a kind of a game design course. It was kind of badly named computer games, but essentially it was like computer science with like game design elements and stuff.
Nice.
Then we left university, kind of did the usual thing where you send out your applications, and then we got hit with the typical games industry catch-22 kind of thing. Like you need to have experience, but you obviously can't have experience if you don't get a job. And then it was 2-6's idea at first. He was like, you know what, because we applied for all the positions that we in theory be qualified for, like programmers or designers and stuff. And he was like, all right, so if we can't do that, we should apply for like testing roles, because in
like
theory,
QA.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So we did that, and then like sent out some applications and stuff. And then there was kind of one point where we kind of got so like, in fact, I think it was 2-6. He kind of was sort of like so sick of not having like CVs bounce back and stuff that we just applied for like a job that we weren't even qualified for at Microsoft. And then maybe they got back to 2-6 about it, but they were like, you're not qualified for this job, but like there's a role here that you might be able to do. So he went in for an interview, and he had like, it was crazy because he had like some long like 3-hour interview, and he came in as like as a tester, but like senior tester. So he actually kind of came in like one level up. Nice. And he was working on Forza Horizon when it was like
nice.
So that was and that was like when it like first started. So the team was super small, and then when they started ramping up, he brought me in. He was basically like, they were looking to hire people. He was like, look, send your CV in. And then it's obviously I went down as well. I kind of got the interview. It's funny though, because I had like an interview for like a different role. So like mine was he was there for like 3 hours. I was like, all right, I'm looking forward to this. I'm getting ready for like mentally preparing for like a long interview. I was there for like 10 minutes. They're like, yep, cool, good job done. So I left and I was like, is that good?
I know that would be like terrifying. Be like, yo, my dude was in here for 3 hours.
Yeah. And you going for 10 minutes. They're like, thank you, we got everything. And you like,
I probably would have said something when I was leaving. I'm like, yo, let me be real with you. My dude was in here for longer than a Harry Potter movie. Why am I leaving?
It took me 2 hours to get there as well.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah. So it happened. I got the job, which is cool. But I came in as like a junior tester. So like, but I was also working on Forza Horizon. So like, I worked 6 on that. And then, so we started off working in there, and then what was about sort of 3-4 months in, I kind of jumped up to like senior tester. So we're both working on like Forza. The team like massively ramped up, and it was during that time that we actually launched the YouTube channel. We kind of just did it as like fun in the back. But they used to have like a games library there. So we just used to like borrow games, just be like, all right, we'll make some videos for this. Occasionally they come in a little bit early, like on like American release and stuff. So we're like, all right, great. In fact, one of the games that actually kicked off the channel was like they got Asura's Wrath. And then, I mean, I love that game, right? But like that, because obviously that came out, like it released in America on a Tuesday and in the UK on a Friday. So like they had it in the library. So we thought, we'll play it. And we literally just uploaded like a raw gameplay of it, like because it was basically like watching an anime.
Yeah.
And weirdly, like back then, that was like they were some of our most viewed videos. That was on like our old channel before then, so it's not even on this one anymore. But they were like,
it's on just the Arekkz channel.
That was just the Arekkz channel.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually a previous Arekkz channel that I've taken down since then. So that was like our learning ground, so to speak.
Oh, okay, we did that too.
yeah, exactly. So, but then it's funny because like even like 2 years after the game came out, people were still watching that video, still commenting on it like every day. Like some of those episodes got up to like a few 100,000 views just because it was like they're literally watching it like an anime. It's like, all right, cool.
That's dope.
But yeah, so that happened. Then obviously, we carried on working through there. So we worked through Forza Horizon into launch. We did the Forza Horizon DLC. We worked on a few other games. Like sometimes we worked in their Reading headquarters, and then they'd like, as well as the titles they working on in the UK, they'd sometimes bring in titles they were sort of tested from the US. So we did some testing on Halo 4, on Gears of War Judgment,
nice.
And then a few other games like that. So then when it came to Xbox One launch, there was are you familiar with the Upload video platform on Xbox?
Yes. Shout out to Lord Dizzy, who
when that first came out, it got big.
Upload creator OG. That's what he calls
well, so here's the thing. So then when Upload came out, they sent like a thing internally, and I applied for a different role in there, and I moved to their London studio to be associate producer on Upload, and I worked on Upload, like basically building their creative program, kind of doing like community management.
Dude, that's huge.
So yeah, so they kind of, I sort of came on initially sort of doing like community management / like production. I used to do like video stuff. So all like, I don't know if you remember like the official Upload content they used to do. Like I used to kind of be like host on some of that stuff. So I'd like do some of that content. And it was kind of interesting because that was also like a turning point for the channel, because the first couple of years, like, you know, we kicked off the channel because it was 26's idea again. And I was like, I hadn't quite sort of found my place. Like we were uploading videos more sort of for fun, but I wasn't really sure fully if it was something I wanted to do.
Right.
And it was then when I moved to Upload and I started working with them. Like I was working with like the camera crew there, and obviously we were doing videos for the platform.
I got a name drop. During that process, did you get a chance to meet like AC Bongos, any of those guys?
Oh yeah, AC Bongos is the nicest guy in the world. Like he is
so
like
cool.
The best person at Xbox. Like he's so like you know like some people you wonder, like, you know, when you see him on camera, you're like, is that what they're like? He is so genuine. What you see is what you get.
What you
like,
get. I've met him 3 times, and I have to admit, my impression is the exact same. He's like, he seems like a really cool dude. He's so
cool. Like, I got to work with him on a few different projects and stuff. He was just like, just like so much energy and stuff. He was a great guy. So he so that was obviously that kind of, you know, started sort of working through video there. But it was interesting because like during those first couple of years, like I was super. I didn't really have the confidence on like YouTube and stuff, so it was like a really weird sort of thing finding my feet. So when I went to work at Upload and I worked with like the camera crew and stuff, they sort of really helped me like build confidence on camera and like learn to speak, you know, like better on camera, just sort of like, you know, not to like lock up and stuff, which was it was really weird. Like it was so like at first they used to have to like set up the cameras and like leave the room because I just wouldn't want to record with people around.
It
was weird. It was weird.
Hey, listen, I can't go if you watching me.
Exactly like that. Yeah. So it was really weird. Like, and I'd be like it used to be like a flipping 50 take wonder or something. Like I would keep on messing up. Like I'd write my own lines, like little paragraphs, and I just keep on messing up. It's like, what the hell? But then, over that kind of course that year, like I massively improved, and that kind of gave me an actual appreciation for like, all right, you know what, I like doing this, because then suddenly on Upload, I was making some of their videos, and then I would go home in the evening and make our videos. So like I was just doing that all the time, and then that's where like the grind got super serious, because it was basically like, because Upload ended up being, you know, I worked more than I should have there. I get in the morning like 8, I'd be in the office until like 9, 10 at night, and then I go home and then I grind Destiny videos.
Wow.
Right? And like,
wow.
Yeah, but I mean that because that was when it clicked, right? Destiny, obviously, we were like, you know, this is where we're gonna sort of like make it work. And I did that for probably about 18 months. So I worked with like, you know, worked on like loads of different projects there. We worked with like loads of different developers, and obviously during that time we helped build because we used to like curate the front page. So we would like look at all the community content. We pick what we want to go on front page. We obviously engage with creators. We took some of them to things like E3 and Gamescom and stuff. So we ran all of that, and obviously we worked with different companies like when the games were launching. So we did like campaigns around like, you know, Titanfall launch, Destiny, and things like that. So yeah, it was really good. And then when they kind of made the switch and they kind of Windows 10 started being a big thing, then the American team kind of wanted to take back the ownership of like the platform. So they took Upload, because it was developed in the UK, but they took Upload into their like inside. Yeah. Wow. And then but then when they did that, they had no need for the content teams. They were like, you know, thanks, but we don't need you anymore.
Wow. Thanks, but bye.
Exactly,
Now let's get the order in now. When does VG247.com was during that period, or
so that was leaving? That was leaving. So when we left Microsoft, obviously I've made like a load of friends there, and like people like knew that obviously we did YouTube. Like we'd have to kind of like, you know, do things like outside of what we're doing at work and stuff, but we still did that. So when I left, I basically just sent out emails to like all the people that I knew. I was like, you know, it's been great working with you. I'm leaving Microsoft, but I am going to go off and do my own venture, because basically I chatted to 26 and I was like, look, you know what? I've been made redundant. I'm going to use this 1 year, and I'm going to set aside a year, and I'm going to try and make YouTube work. Like I'm going to steal the money that I've earned. I'm just going to try and do this for a year. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to go and find myself a job. And then luckily we managed to like turn it around. So obviously, when we left, I reached out to everyone. I was like, this is what I'm going to go and do. So it'd be great to like, you know, work with some of you guys and you know, like the videos and stuff. So it was super useful, because, and I'm so glad I did it that way as well, because like working in the games industry gave me such a great insight into like the way things work, and also just like how to properly work with publishers. Like if if a game's coming out and I want to go to them, like I know how to properly work with them. But like I know what you guys want, I know what I want. Here's how we can work together. Things like that. So it's yeah. So
that experience really helped you.
It trained up a boss, because let me tell you something. You was like, oh, so you're gonna give me the pink slip, huh? I got you. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna load up these videos. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get this couple of 100 million views. And listen, I really appreciate all that grind, all that stuff that you were saying. It really showed inside all your videos. I really appreciate the grind. A lot of these, the people that are watching, maybe they don't really understand. I really have VG24 still on my phone. Like I really go through, and I subscribe to you. I was probably one of your earliest subscribers. And I keep that content there because that's the genesis of my information. Like me going to something, I'll post it, I'll send it to Cognito. I'm like this, and it's
I remember
that
those
hard
years.
work. The hard work that you put in, translated, and it trickled down to me because you said stuff that made me understand it. That's why I stay with your stuff, because a lot of videos that I was watching with other content creators, they were saying stuff that was like, they were speaking Chinese to me, to be honest with you. And I was like, I really didn't understand it. But then you'll break it down and you'll show the damage difference from one upload. Like, let's say they buff the shotguns, or they buff the auto rifles. You'll show the damage difference between different sides, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is how it was before, and this is how much damage you're doing now.
He's very, very, Lord Arekkz is very meticulous. That's why I like his style. Like, it's a very, he approaches it as if he doesn't assume the person that's watching knows about the content or the game, and that you have a great style in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really appreciate that, especially with Destiny, because in the beginning, for someone completely new to that kind of genre, there was some things that were kind of overwhelming with the whole light level chase, and like you're very good with beginner guides. I think like you're a master at that. You really break it down. Okay, this is what you need to be doing. This is the most effective way. Kind of like what Lord King is saying, and showing you the difference and stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, because it's sort of the way that we always want to try and present it. Like, I want to make sure that like we try our best to make sure that our content can like be useful to the people that are hardcore, but also like if you never played before, like you can be like, oh, okay, I can get this. And I think also like we've always made content in the way that we like to consume it. Like, I generally speaking prefer short videos, and obviously there's that interesting time in YouTube, like where kind of people made this transition to long form content. But like generally speaking, like I prefer to be like, you want to know something, I want to know it like in 2 minutes, as opposed to be like because I mean I just, and it's literally just down to it's no disrespect to anyone that makes longer videos, but for me personally, like I tune out very quickly on a lot of things. Like I'll just sit there and be like, sorry, wait, what did you say?
But it's good because let's be honest, like the attention span of the youth, shout out Lord Arekkz, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't get time, they don't want to go through, they want to get to the point, get to the business, boom. You know what I mean?
Yep, straight to it. That's what I love.
Absolutely sense. So then, like I said, you took those context and everything from there, and then you kind of met with the 247 guys.
Yeah. So when we left, there was actually like another person that kind of we watched that we saw like work with these 24/7. So we kind of got in touch with them. And we're like, look, we where this is the kind of the content we do, because we reached out to them initially. We're like, oh, we do like a lot of Destiny content. Do you want to like work together and stuff? And they were like, well, actually, it kind of works out well because we like want to go big on Destiny, and we sort of like need someone to kind of fill that void. So they're actually part of a network, just a YouTube network called like Gamer Network, who they cover channels you would have heard from things like Outside Xbox, Outside Extra. What else is there?
So they got like a whole network of
So so they're part of that one. So obviously we basically became sort of like under their wing, but then obviously we worked with VG on like Destiny stuff. So if we were making content and stuff, they would then like run articles on what we were doing. And that's sort of like how it worked out. And while we started with them like predominantly on Destiny, like because we cover so many different things, then we effectively kind of work with them on like where whatever. I mean, we're not sort of like in the site specifically. It's more just like we have the kind of contact with them, and they're just like. That's sort of how they run their stuff and they run their articles, but then they'll also do supporting stuff for like our videos. So that's how we sort of
Yeah,
work
that
together.
dude, that connect is huge because, like I said, that's how I knew you. And then, like, even when you transition to division, like whatever would come up, and I would see it there, it would be like at the top of the list, and it'd be like, check out Arekkz, and I'm like, okay, there he is. You know what I'm saying? Video embedded. I'm like, nice. I get it right in the article. Like, it was so convenient, and I just said, okay, I'm going, to your channel, man, because I really those Destiny 1 days definitely stand out big time for me. Even when King betrayed us for the division.
Listen, he made the division sound like it was the second coming, and my problem was the Dark Zone, and it was. I remember that one video because it was like, if you're having a problem with the Dark Zone, let me show you how you can run the Dark Zone alone. I said, alone? Yeah. So if you get this and you put this with this striker gear set, and I put this gear set together, and so 4 dudes ran down on me. I'll never forget. And I threw out my little turret, and it was flaming them, and I was hitting them, and I was tearing them up, and I started chasing people down. I said, Arekkz is the truth. And I became a Dark Zone warrior solo. Like, where are you at? I'm up in Zone 5 by myself.
Oh my God.
It was good for me.
No, shout out to Arekkz on that, man. Yo, tremendous history, man. I like these stories. This is good to see where people started and all that good stuff. So every guest we have to ask this question, Lord Arekkz.
Yeah,
so,
I guess also actually just kind of dial back if you want to kind of
sure, no problem.
So
please go. Oh, you have more, please.
I mean, no, it's just obviously there's that kind of. So the interesting thing that happened, like when I left Microsoft. So I worked for 6 months on the channel, and then 26 was still at Microsoft because he was still at that time he was working on Forza Horizon 2. So he worked on that. The game launched stuff, and then he got to the point where he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna make this jump now. So then he left, and that's when we both went full time, and that's when we were both kind of working on the channel. And then there was obviously there was a period for the first year where 26 was trying to we were trying to do something behind the scenes, or like making games, like either mobile games or something. So he was like, because he's a programmer, so he was like building that stuff.
Shout out to 26 is a beast.
So he worked like super hard on that, but obviously we got to this point where at the end of the first year we were like, you know what, we've invested money into it, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, how long's a piece of string? Like, how much do you really need to invest to get this thing going? And we're like, maybe it isn't the right time. So at that point, he then switched over to start streaming, and then obviously then he kind of picked up on that, and then he so he so like while we all work on the channel and stuff, like I predominantly do the videos. We'll all chat about like stuff on like a Monday and be like, here's what we're doing for the week. But like I'll predominantly work on videos, he streams, and then more recently we then bought Ben on, or Paradise, like Paradise Central. So if ever you've seen like 26 streaming Monster Hunter, he will stream with Paradise. So he's now kind of on board with the channel as well, and he kind of helps with content. So sort of like just kind of growing out. But yeah, that's basically where we're at.
Dude, tremendous history, bro. You got to come out with a book.
one day when I retire.
I want to see the early clips where he didn't want anybody in the room, and he had the little cue card. And he said, "Didn't I say get out of the room?"
Funny ones, man. Oh man, before
I hate when people do this, but you know what? Like if you go on the channel and you go and you sort my oldest video first. You can see some things where they're still there. So if you want to go down like some crazy history, then feel free to check them out. But yeah,
he's not showing it, but he's low key in the side. Like I'm deleting it now. This started on Death.
I'm going in right after this.
We got to see the early beginnings, man. Everybody started somewhere.
Like my channel started in the Destiny day now.
Yeah, man. I know my early videos with Arekkz. Oh man, woo. Yeah. Good thing we moved on. We got we improved a little bit. But yeah, man, tremendous history. So I got to ask this question for all the guests that we usually have at the round table. Lord Arekkz, I need the top 5 video games or video game franchises for you. What's your personal favorite? Let's go.
Okay. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda. 100%. No questions.
Woo!
Number 2 is going to be Monster Hunter.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I got
Number 3's got to be Smash Brothers.
Wow. Okay.
Number 4's probably got to be Pokemon for me.
Okay. Nintendo is strong in here.
Instead, he told you earlier, if you didn't listen.
Nintendo is strong. I like that. Okay.
Number 5.
Number 5, all time. You got to make the tough choice. Tough one. I know it's not easy.
It's weird. Hi, this is hard.
It's hard.
He wants to stay Mario 64. He wants to stay Mario.
I mean, basically, yeah. But
come on.
I always feel like it's weird because it's not like a series per se. It's like just like one big game that never stops. But like a huge part of it was probably like World of Warcraft. Like back in the days, like when it was that, like that was a big.
That was huge.
Because that was like me and sister used to play that at university and like just play too many hours on that, and that was yeah. I think off the top of the spot, I mean that's probably the one that I think. I mean like
no doubt.
Maybe there's another one, but yeah, definitely at least those top 3, top 4.
All right, so that's your top 5 right there. You got the Zelda, the Pokemon, Monster Hunter World, World of Warcraft. That's what we're going with.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
He had to sit there for a second. Is that what I want to be branded?
He says that's what I want to be.
It's funny because every time I do one of these, like there was like kind of a while ago, like on Twitter, there was sort of like the name your top series and stuff, and you'll always write it, and as soon as you finish writing it, and you hit send, you're like, oh wait, how did I forget this series?
How did I forget this? Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm notorious for that.
I'm probably going to look back on this and be like, oh, why did I not say this? But like, definitely, at least, yeah. Number 1, like, yeah, Zelda, Monster Hunter, Smash Bros, Pokemon, and then 5 is like in flux.
No doubt. 5 is in flux, but for now it's World of Warcraft holding it down at that spot. All right, no doubt, man. Tremendous history, man. Love it, love it, love it. So let's get into what the Lords have been playing this week. And actually, let's go back to Arekkz again. What have you been playing specifically this week? Is it been all Monster Hunter this week?
Actually, not too much. Not at the moment. Like at the moment, because sort of in between like events and stuff. Like I'm playing it a little bit slightly more lightly, so I'm kind of jumping in for videos and stuff. So I actually jumped on. I've been playing Owlboy today.
Okay.
That's a game that kind of came out a while ago, but like I wanted to play it. I was kind of following, but I sort of left it at the time, and then it came out on Switch. So played some of that. Been playing a bit of Mario Tennis as well because that recently came out.
Yeah, people tell me that's deep, man.
We got to talk, Arekkz. We got to talk because that blooper is kicking my ass.
that game is good. Like, it's funny because I'm not really a sports person, but like when it's like a Mario twist, I'm like, you know what? I got time for this.
Shout out to Lord Fogey. Fogey said last week he was playing tennis, and he said it was like very complex. Like it was like there's a lot of depth to this game.
There is, yeah. Like it's funny because you sort of like you think like, oh, tennis and Mario.
I just wrote it off.
No, but like there's actually a fair bit to it, and it's also funny because when you kind of get those games that are like so lighthearted on the surface, it makes it even funnier and like more competitive when you're playing with people. Like if you lose at a game of Mario Tennis, like if you lose at a normal game of tennis, you just lose at a game of tennis. You lose at Mario Tennis. No, it's serious business.
No,
we're gonna lose friendships over this stuff.
I'll feel you, man.
I was playing a bit of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Nice.
I'll kind of get my ass whooped, but I was trying to play it.
No doubt. Lord Arekkz, what have you been playing this week, man?
XCOM. And a little bit more XCOM and just a little bit more XCOM.
You got those Chosen killed yet? You got Death Singing.
I killed all 3 of those Chosen.
Nice.
I killed one with a panic. One of my panic.
I saw one of your
videos.
On
the platform, it just shot the Chosen and killed him like it's
disrespectful. I saw you put it up on upload. I laughed when I finally got a chance to see it this morning. I could not believe you did that to one of the Chosen.
Nice. I was happy. I was panicking for a second, but when I saw he did a crit for 24, I was like, that's what's up.
No doubt. That's what's up. That XCOM life. Lord Soft, what has it been? Has it been all tennis? What you been playing, man?
It's been on Switch. I haven't been home, so it's been on Switch. So a lot of tennis, and like I'm halfway through that story mode, and there's a boss on a boat. It's a blooper, right? Yeah, he's destroying me. Like he's really, really destroying me. This dude should be like the end boss because he gets all over the court with no problem, and then he has trick shots where this particular stage has you're on like on a ship, right? So you have like the mast right in the middle of the ship, so you can bounce balls off the middle of this pole. So this dude takes every opportunity to redirect balls off of the pole. So I've gotten close to beating him like 5-6 times, but other times he's just raking me over the coals, like destruction all the way through. So yeah, I've been playing that, and I got Luminous Remastered. I never played Luminous on the
great
PSP.
game.
Yeah, I'm more for like old school Tetris, but I do like Luminous. It's cool. I never played it on PSP back in the day, so I didn't really know what to expect. But $15, great game though. Good puzzle.
The music aspect of that game, the musicality of that game, where it's just beautiful. I love that game. That's
it takes it to another level. It definitely takes it to another level.
No doubt. Lord King, what you been playing, man?
Oh, Destiny. Shout out to my tryhards. My tryhards. Listen, yo, I got these 2 tryhards, right? So I got I got Chris, I got Chris and Captain America, right?
Yeah.
So, and Captain America is tactical, if y'all don't know. And if y'all ever see me play with these two guys, if I get these two guys both in one room at one time, it is the most amazing experience that I can have with Destiny at one time. And I did it this week with a Nightfall. We finished that Nightfall in 14 minutes. I'm talking about these two tryhards. It's always a measuring contest when they get inside the room. Like, oh, what shader you got? Oh, do you have this catalyst? Oh, I got 2 of those catalysts. I'm like, it is just the most amazing thing ever to watch these two guys go at it. And I said, y'all should have a channel. It should be y'all two only in the channel, like, because they're looking at each other's clothes and then they're checking out each other's guns.
Everything is a battle. Everything's a battle. I just want to tell you guys, it's one game that I got from Lord Rand Outdoor. It's Assault Android Cactus. It's free on Microsoft for gold this month. Get that game. Okay.
It is probably the best game that I got from Rand. And he put me on it because I spoke to him. You know, I sent him a message because he put up a video. That game is to get it for free is unimagineable. But to pay for it, I paid for that game. That game is worth every last penny. Try it out.
Shout out to Lord Rand. He's a beast, man. Absolutely. I definitely will look into it, man. Yeah, man. For me, I've kind of been with Lord King. I've been on that Destiny 2 Catalyst grind faction rally. So I want to shout out some lords real quick. Demon and Revos, the team. Kneel before God. He was helping us out. Shout out to Fonzarelli and a Relevant Native. We was all getting a little blaze on everybody trying to do their little catalyst grind or what have you. So it's all about Dead Orbit right now. I'm sorry, Hideo from New Monarchy. I need that Graviton Lance. Oh man, that hidden hand. I need that perk. So I'm at level 45. I'm 5 away from the grind to be done. And I touched a little bit of State of Decay 2 with the Independence Day pack. Downloaded that, and on a Switch, I didn't get a chance to play because I've already played it already, but I had to get Inside. Remember Inside?
Oh yeah, good game, good game.
Love that game. The ambiance, the dudes from Play Dead Studios, man. Limbo creators, absolutely love that. So we're gonna get into this poll. So last week's poll results have come through, and the people have spoken to the question. With the recent acquisition of 5 gaming studios underneath the Microsoft Studios umbrella, like Undead Labs, Ninja Theory, etc., is it too early to tell if these acquisitions were smart business moves? The winner at 49% in a 3-way poll is the no. It is not too early. These moves were smart for the future of Xbox. Coming in at 28% and highly contested 28% was yes, it is too early. The games must show and prove first. And coming in at a razor third place, razor close at 23%, was Phil Spencer has the Studio Infinity Gauntlet Group. Shout out to over 400 lords who have voted on the segment. Lord Arekkz, what do you think about this, man? What do you think about this poll?
I think, I think it's definitely a sensible move because I mean, one of the things, obviously, we still need to see what those studios will kick out, right? It's one thing to sort of like name check and be like, oh yeah, we've got all these guys. We still need to see what they're going to show us, but seeing the stuff that they have done in the past and knowing that like Microsoft is an interesting place. We kind of touched on like earlier how it was sort of that time back around 360, like during the PS3 quiet period, where like Xbox was like super dominant right for a bit, and then that's sort of like whereas it seems to have shifted like right now. Like PS4 is just killing it right now, and like at the moment, like I mean, I love my Xbox, right? You know, it used to be the console I was on pretty much all the time, and like now I don't play it as much, like and especially considering a lot of things are on PC, like I don't even turn it on that often. I had to update it the other day when I turned it on. That's how kind of like
it's been that long.
yeah. So that, and that's the thing. But the crazy thing is like they've always, if you look at them, like Microsoft's always had this sort of strange mentality where it's like, all right, you know, so long as we've got Forza, Gears, and Halo, we're fine. Like nobody can touch it. It's like
talk about it.
Not anymore. It's like you know what? They're good games, but you can't hold on to just those 3 forever. Like people are gonna get bored. And I mean, already, like, I mean, I don't mind some of the 343 Halos, but I know that people aren't like Halo's not kind of doing what people want it to right now. Gears of War, like, you know, I enjoyed the last one. It's fun to play through, but it's still like, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's like in its prime anymore. And like Forza, like, you know, Forza's Forza, right? It's great if you like Forza, but I don't really feel like Forza's a system seller. Like you like the player because you like it, and that's it. So they need to have, and obviously, like, you know, they might not necessarily have, they've got a few first party studios. You know, they've got Rare that was kind of like Sea of Thieves. Like, I'm so glad they put it out because obviously, you know, it's nice to see them working on new IP. It might not necessarily be like tracking the same way they want it to right now. Hopefully, it kind of grows up, but They need more stuff that they can kind of say is theirs, right? And I mean, they are some solid studios. I mean, Ninja Theory have done some amazing stuff.
Ooh, that Hellblade, bro.
Exactly, right. I mean, that was incredible. Some of the other stuff they've done as well. So if they can use that to sort of like bolster their sort of supposedly like their sort of like first party lineup, then I think it's great. Like because they need to do it, and they might be in a position where they're thinking, all right, you know what, we might not necessarily have any like studios that we own that can kind of fill this void. So let's just bring some people in, and then so I mean, yeah. So business wise, it makes sense, but yeah, it's true that we do need to see that like now they've been acquired, what are they actually going to work on? Because it's if it gets to the point where like next E3. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, all these names we've acquired, we've still got them. We haven't got anything to show, but we still got them. It's like that's nothing, right? But if they're like,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but if they're like, yo, Ninja Theory got this, then bam, like that's cool.
No, I agree. Shout out to Lord Ebontis entering the realm. Are you there, sir?
What is going on, sir?
What's up? We got the Nightfall Soloist and the Monster Hunter in the build. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. How you been, man?
I'm doing good. Just listening, watching one of the guys that led me to do what I do as well. So Arekkz, shout out to you, man. Amazing content. Been watching you for a long time. Like me, my little solo Nightfall videos that I do, nothing compared to what you do. So it's been pretty amazing.
No, man. It's all the same. It's all the same. We're just out here making videos.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Ebontis jumping through, man. So this is a good one you jumped in for, Ebontis, because we got Arekkz in the building, and we're gonna talk about the battle coming into 2019. We're gonna get into these topics. You know what I'm saying? And the battle coming into 2019 of the shared world shooter, we've got Destiny 2, we've got Anthem, and the Division 2 entering the realm next year. So I want to bring this off to Lord Arekkz in the sense that, okay, who do you think survives in 2019? It's kind of start with the strengths and weaknesses, what you see from each game. So I'm gonna bring it to you. What do you think about the battle coming in?
Oh. Firstly, I'm going to need to hire some people to play some games for me because I'm not going to have enough time. Yeah, right. But no, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I feel like Destiny is starts well already because like even though Destiny right now might might necessarily be everyone's favorite topic, the point is like it sits quite well because the interesting thing about the placement for that is that like there'll be Forsaken will come out in December, and then September, and there'll be something that will come out in December, right? There'll be like that next expansion because they've got one of those ones listed for 2018, right? So they'll drop in December, and then it probably won't be like till either end of March or April. If they're sensible, it'll be April, right? So in their way, they can almost skip that window. They can kind of come before with Forsaken, come before with some DLC, and then where their game is winding down a little bit, and they should use this. They should use this as like a sensible thing. They should be like, all right, you know what? People are going to go for a few months and going to jump into Division, jump into Anthem. We can use this time to work on what's next. So hopefully they're sensible with that and they drop the next thing, around like April, May, something like that. So Destiny can almost sort of skip that like window, like the kind of the heavy competitive window.
Right.
It is true that obviously for a lot of people that have stepped away from Destiny and are just like, why am I coming back to Destiny? They're going to gravitate more towards things like Division and Anthem because they're going to be like, oh, this looks like the new hot thing, right? But at least for the people that like play Destiny and do want to sort of dip in and out, I feel like Destiny is kind of positioned quite well. Division and Anthem, they're the ones going head to head. This is the interesting thing. So obviously, Division has the advantage that like it's already established to a certain degree. There's two sides to it. Again, there's obviously Division went through like a rocky road. It started out really solid, went kind of downhill for a bit. Then they've since brought that back, and like where the game is at right now is a really good position. Really, it's almost like what we saw. Yeah, it's almost like what we saw with Destiny 1, right? Like they ended it in a really solid place. So all the kind of like core Division fans, like, you know what? Yep, we're super ready for it. They've seen Division 2 E3. They're really excited for it. Like a lot of people that stepped away from it are like, oh, I'm looking forward to coming back. I've been doing a few videos and people are like, oh yeah, I'm looking for like a chance to jump back in. So because that's already like a known, and the things that they've been quite clever about the way they've messaged it. They've been like, oh, the stuff that we know was a problem the first time, we're going big on this. So they've already said like, we built the game with Endgame first, and then we've gone backwards. So we already know.
Yeah, them 8-player raids, man. I couldn't believe that.
Exactly, right. So yeah, so I mean that's a massive thing, right? That's something that people are asking for like a long time. So being able to name check that stuff and be like, you know what, our sequel has this, right? So that means if you're a consumer, you're like, all right, I've got one game here which I know what it's all about, I know what I'm going to get out of it, and while it'll be like new experiences, I can picture it. And then you've got Anthem, right, which is like super exciting. Like I've had a chance to play it, like really really cool. But right now there's still a lot of questions, right? Like I mean, and again, we're quite away from launch, so that doesn't worry me because at the end of the day, it's like in the way that PRs reveal things and stuff, we can find out plenty more in that time. But at least as it currently stands, like there's a lot of things we don't know about Anthem. Like it looks cool, it plays cool. The surface level stuff is really, really fun. But for people that want to like, you know, have someone dip into that sort of that genre, we still don't know what is going to keep us coming back to Anthem.
Yeah. Fact. And how do you feel? I got to ask you this, Lord Arekkz, how do you feel about no PvP at launch for Anthem?
Throw it in the bushes.
So for me, I don't mind because I'm not really a PvP guy, right? Like I will play PvP. Like you know, sometimes I play with friends and stuff, and like I can jump in, I can, you know, semi hold my own, but I'm not like a top tier PvP player. Like PvE is what I do, right? It's always been that way, right? I like probably why I like Monster Hunter so much, and even like, you know, Division and stuff like that. I mess around the Dark Zone, but I still it's PvE is where I spend my time. So I don't really mind because I think to myself,
that doesn't bother you. That doesn't affect you.
No, and I feel like kind of the experience they're trying to offer, like if they can provide like an amazing world with like loads of like really cool activities, plenty of challenge, plenty of reason to come back, then I don't think it will necessarily be a problem because they haven't like discounted that it can be a thing. They're just saying it's not launching with it, right? And if anything, it kind of makes sense. Like if it's a brand new IP, if they can focus their efforts on making like a super solid, you know, PvE experience, and then later on they can look at like adding something in that makes sense, maybe. Because obviously there's also the challenges I'm sure they've seen, like, you know, the challenges when you kind of have these kind of games trying to balance PvE and PvP and the way that kind of works. So maybe it's a battle they don't want to have. Maybe they're trying to lean more into their strengths. Like, you know, BioWare are very good at like single player and narrative stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they realize that PvP might, and also it makes it like I would rather they launch with a solid PvE than PvE and like a really bad PvP.
No, absolutely. You don't want any type of you don't want a mess or broken product. I'd rather them take their time with it if it's not ready. So I get that. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna swing back around to you at the end of this topic because we'll get. I need the hard and fast prediction later.
Okay.
We'll let you take on it, Lord Ebontis. Me and you have had this discussion on Flashpoint. We talked about it during the dark ages of Destiny 2's launch. And I'm very curious now. Things are kind of like panning themselves out. Destiny 2 is kind of maybe on upswing to some. And then you got Anthem that people are very excited about. And obviously Division, like Lord Arekkz said, I mean, it's just been so much improved. And they look like they're ready for war, that they learned from their mistakes. So what do you got, Ebontis? What are you feeling about these games?
Oh, I mean, Arekkz said it pretty well already. I think the fact that, I just put it in chat too, don't be a jack of all trades, kind of the way Destiny is trying to be. PvE and PvP don't, and they can't figure out a way to balance both, because if you have a game like Anthem, and I just got done listening to something else about another game, if you have those tiers where you can get weapons that are almost broken in a PvP setting, you don't worry about breaking PvP. If PvE can be this elite thing that you can go for and strive for and have those upper echelon pieces that would break a PvP thing, but you're not worried about that because you're working on a story and a solo effort and things like that. So I mean, Anthem has potential to do that. I think Division is in an amazing place, and I think Destiny has a chance. I was going to say I couldn't have phrased it any better. I think you say it's going to miss it. I think that's actually right. It's going to do its September big launch. It's going to have its December release, and then the two after that potentially will or won't. So you will have either won your people back or not. So
let me ask you,
I've got to figure it out.
Nope. I just want to cut, because you and Arekkz bring up a good point. An interesting point about Destiny missing that window, right? Where those guys kind of go head to head next year. Don't you think? Are you not concerned that that may hurt Destiny, because the player base now, if these games are good, because kind of happened when Division first came out. Remember when Division came out strong, y'all? Like, don't forget, like Division took a lot of Destiny's base. And everybody, me and King were fighting every week.
We wasn't fighting because I wasn't listening. I was out.
You was not even fighting. Let me tell the truth. Arekkz, I got Arekkz as my witness. They was like, Destiny is dead. We're done with this game.
No, I didn't say it was dead. I just said I preferred.
Arekkz, back me up. Arekkz,
so it's not. I didn't say that technically.
It's just what I
You need to go back and read the transcript, guys. Just figure it out.
Like, you can go and look at the videotape if you choose. I don't care. That guy didn't exist. What I'm trying to say is, listen. In all essence, I prefer how the flow of Division goes. It's just my preferred. It's very grounded. Yeah, it's very grounded. So I liked it. Like when Lord Attic was saying that if they were spongy, I said, okay, if they have on armor and they hiding behind stuff, I like that. I like that Tom Clancy feel, and that's what it brought to me. So that was my only thing. Is just I love the Destiny for the Halo feel.
Okay.
Like, my son says it the best. He says, your game is called Destiny, my game is called Halo. Like, and it's because he sees the traits from the companies. And the way the gun handles, the way the gun sways, the way the gun moves, it's Destiny. So I got my Destiny and it's Halo, and it's all wrapped up into one that's fun. But when I want to get grounded, I'm going to get grounded in this place.
Shout out to Lord Sonaldo. He said the only reason why you like Division because you were New Yorker and they did New York.
And you know what? And that's a fact, because when I played Division 2, this is true. When I played Division 2 and then DC, it looked like DC. So when they know how to do their locations very well. New York was done perfectly, like a place where I got a hot dog from back in the day in front of Madison Square Garden.
Was exquisite. Absolutely,
it's there. That's it. So and I'm just jumping in there real quick. I will throw Anthem in the bushes because I don't need an Iron Man simulator, so that can go in the bushes. But those two games will always duke it out because that's how they start. They're the titans of it. We have an unknown variable in Anthem, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But in the established two, I honestly believe the fight boils down to these two titans. And
so you're knocking Anthem out. You think it's Division and Destiny.
The reason why I'm knocking it out is because this is a simple fact. These two have got their lumps already, right? They've already been knocked down by each other. And they went back and they fixed things. I played Destiny's 2 Forsaken's Gambit mode. I'm telling you, that thing is liquid crack. It's liquid crack.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So now you have the Division, and I played the Division 2. When I saw the video and Microsoft showed, I said the game don't look like that. That's bull. And then when I got a chance to play it that night, I said, "Oh, it is exactly what they were showing." And I said, "Oh, this is for real." They took their lumps. This is round 2 in a giant fight. You got this up and coming fighter, and he doesn't have the foot movement or the hand speed as these other dudes, and he's gonna get knocked out in round 1. And he's coming from EA, so that tells you a lot.
Damn. Let me get Lord Ebontis and then get Senate. To get what you're gonna get sovereign in. So Ebontis, I interrupt you on that point. So about that window.
So part of what Destiny does is it releases September. Biggest influx of Destiny players is always going to be its major release. Same as Taken King. Every September release is going to be its biggest piece. Now, the smaller expansions are going to be, if you got the annual pass, are you staying around, things like that. Some people will, some people won't. So September before and then September in 2019, it's got enough space. Also, don't forget Red Dead Redemption in end of October. That's a factor you can't forget either, that basically could wait for a while if Rockstar pulls a GTA Online or something like that. So that's going to be a factor as well. So, but I think in general, I think King's got a good point. Anthem is an unknown. We don't know, but also my worry about Anthem is how much in-game can there be. Division tried with in-game, and that's one thing that took them a little while to figure out, and they were stressing it for round 2. Destiny has raids, which are great, but it's like, depending on the grind and things. If Anthem is only PvE only, without the PvP factor, just to have a balance of something else to do, what if you do get to that max and you have everything? How much can it sustain?
That was what a True Gamer 90 in the chat said. He is like, without PvP, he said it's dead. Longevity. Some people that way.
I think it'll be like Destiny have its good release. I think it'll have an awesome December. I'm gonna definitely try Division 2 as well, and I want to try them both. But as Arekkz said, I need copies of me to try and play all these games because I never have enough. Seriously, there's not enough of me to go around to play anything. I finally stepped away, stopped recording, and I played God of War in Detroit, and it was fun to just sit down and play a game for just me because I don't do that often. So I miss those moments. But man, March is gonna be rough. But I think. I think the other two. Anthem has coolness. I just don't know how long it'll last. I still think it's the other two.
Got you, Lord Addict. I'm curious.
I think it's gonna be between. I don't know. For some reason, I'm wanting to put Anthem in the fight, but I don't think Anthem's gonna. I think
Anthem disrespecting
it's
here.
not that it's Anthem disrespect. Like I'm a PvP person. I like it, and the moment they told me there's not a PvP in it, I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that. I said the same thing about the Division. And the Division had a hard time going because it didn't have PvP. Like, regardless if you're a PvE person or a PvP person, everyone can agree that once the PvE person have vacated the property because there ain't nothing to do PvE wise, the people that are keeping those servers up is PvP, playing the trials, playing the 9, playing all that. Those are the people coming back. The glory is probably surged PvP like crazy on Destiny.
Glory, Valor, Crucible, Trials. We know Trials of the Osiris and Trials of the 9. I mean, Trials of the 9 is not as good as Osiris, but we know that during Destiny 1's dark ages, like you said, Lord Arekkz, that Trials definitely kept the community going. So I would agree. I would agree with that, man.
And I just feel like I know why, and I don't know. See, and I feel like people. My issue with these kind of games is people don't see it as an Anthem. People don't see it as a Division. They always refer to this as the Destiny killer. Every game that comes out, it's like these games can't stand on their own. They have to be the Destiny killer. And I see people like, well, I like the gameplay I saw, but I just want to make sure it has a great story. I'm like, you're not going to get that on the first package you get. Like, these games aren't designed to give you all the story in one experience. Like, they're designed to do it for years to come. And people have the wrong, and people are like, well, it's BioWare. They'll do it. BioWare can't change the way these games are made.
Yo, Sinister going at you in the chat. He said you got too much in PvP. He out of control. Anyway, moving on. Lord Sovereign, the master of multiplayer cooperative online shooters. I need you to bookend this thing, man.
What helps that I don't play them that much is that I can look at it very.
You said that much?
Hey, you can't say I
played Destiny. I played
the Destiny 2. I was there like every day.
Destiny. I have to give him that. I was in a fire team with him while he exists.
There's no footage of it. It did not happen.
Continue.
I think I have something on uploaded. I'll put that.
You have a unique take, so I want your take on this.
My thinking is this. I think what Destiny 2 has done with Forsaken and what Division 2 is doing is that they're acknowledging that they made the mistake of not catering to the hardcore from the jump. They have to do that. So my thinking is that I don't eliminate Anthem from the equation, because my thinking is BioWare's looking at this. You're not going to add another shared world shooter into the mix without looking at the mistakes of other games in that genre and trying to rectify them. So my thinking is that regardless of the fact there's no PvP, the grind during PvE is going to be something that hardcore fans of Destiny and Division are going to be drawn to. Destiny, Division, Monster Hunter. So my thing is, I think they're coming ready with that. So how much of it there is, I don't know. And obviously, and how they integrate that into story to make it interesting for people to do, like Destiny's doing now, is going to be interesting how they do it. But to me, I think by the time these two games come out, Destiny has to be in a place where the hardcore are back.
Facts.
If not, Destiny's done. If Destiny is not giving people in September exactly what they've always wanted from Destiny, and an evolution from what they were doing in Destiny 1, you're going to have problems. Because regardless to what, again, Division 2 is going to be bringing new things to the table. Anthem, like I said, I think they're going to be ready for that. So I think the overlap and the people who are going to want to play all three of these games is huge to me. But I just think that if Destiny is the point where everything kind of jumps off from, right? If Destiny is not where it needs to be, it's done. I think.
No doubt. All right, I'm gonna bring it back to Arekkz. Let's finish this thing off. Gun to your head, Lord Arekkz. I know it's early. I know more information is gonna come out. We don't know what everything is gonna do out of these three. But Lord Arekkz, if a gun to your head at the end of 2019, who do you think stands alone?
So here's an interesting thing as well. Like one of the things I've been thinking slightly more recently, like as we've been sort of hearing more stuff about Anthem as well, is that it's also, while it exists in a very similar space, there's also a kind of chance that it might exist in a slightly different space, right? So like here's the thing: so like Destiny and Division are, for all intents and purposes, very, very similar, right? Anthem, based on what we know so far, right? Obviously, they say, I had a chance to interview Jonathan Warner and stuff, and he said that there's going to be stuff to do on a weekly basis. There's going to be reasons to come back. There's going to be things those sort of signature things that basically make it a game that fits in this space. But at the same time, obviously, with like BioWare's strength being like story, one of the two big things that these two games lack, like Division and Destiny, is obviously like really good ways of telling a story. Like there's story in Destiny, but you need to go digging for it, right? There's story in Division, but you kind of need to go digging for it. Like I feel like it's almost like the Anthem could stand a chance to basically bring story and proper storytelling into this kind of genre. So there's a chance
that's a good point. They got Casey Hudson too, who's Mass Effect series.
Yes, there's a chance they can do something that the other two have never done before, right? And then when I started thinking about this way, I was thinking to myself the other day, all right, so what if there's a chance that they're being slightly vague about endgame because maybe they don't have the same endgame that the other people do? And then I thought, all right, so maybe if they don't, right, I would like, if I look at the whole experience, I could still see Anthem as a game that like I would jump in, I would play, I'll play through the story, I enjoy the story, I would level up my Ford Javelin, I would do everything. And if I came to like an end after say like 100 hours, I'd be like, you know what? It's kind of cool, right? Because I've had a good experience. Maybe it doesn't be the game that maybe it's necessarily always the game that kind of you come back to all the time. But if they then release like content updates in sort of like chunks or something, it could be one of those games that maybe you kind of like quote unquote complete to a certain degree, and then you kind of go on like a little break, and then you kind of come back. So maybe it is a game you check in and out, almost like what Monster Hunter's kind of doing with like these monthly releases. So maybe they actually end up targeting a similar genre, but a slightly different space, which would therefore allow them to exist alongside these things. Because then imagine if it got to the point where you did your Anthem stuff, like you kind of came back and you felt like you'd done everything, and then you could pause and go and play Destiny or Division. And then the next big thing comes out, and you're like, oh, let me check back in for Anthem because something's happening, right? So there's a chance that they might be doing something a little bit different.
So because of that difference, you're thinking that they can then coexist in that space. They won't be direct competition.
Possibly, it's possible because I feel like, but again, this is based on like the way that they've spoken about stuff right now. Like it could be that if in like 2 or 3 months' time they just come out and they're like, here's our end game plan, and it actually lines perfectly up with Destiny, then maybe there might be a different story. But I'm kind of going based on the way we know of it right now. It's also important to kind of realize that like there's kind of like the people online that they've already written it off because there's this association with EA, right? Like I kind of said before that, like I go into everything, like for me, I go into everything with like a super open mind. Like when people say to me like, oh, why are you still playing Destiny? I'm like, you know what? I see every expansion as a chance to do something right. Because obviously having worked in the industry, like I know things, I know sometimes things going wrong aren't always in your control, and sometimes you can try your best to fix it, right? So like I realized that like despite what people say, Bungie aren't out there trying to just like put their hand in your pocket and steal your money, right?
The evil Activision, that's what they say. They say that.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like I don't know what the reasons are, but I'm telling you out there, no developer wants to steal your money, right? Let's be clear. No one's trying to steal your money, right? Yeah,
okay. That to the publisher.
Yeah, out there, some people are trying to like surely like they've got to make money, right?
Some people low key like try to like psychologically manipulate you into spending money, but they don't try to steal money.
Yeah, it's definitely true. There are some practices that obviously do encourage like kind of the purchase of stuff, and and at the end of the day, it is still a business, right? So like businesses need to make money. So like at the end of the day, some of them aren't the best practices, but the point is, right, there are people out there that have already written off a game they don't know about just because they see the EA symbol, right? And I'm like, that to me is like it's like you need to see everything as a separate, like a separate entity. That's why I'm going to go into it with that mindset anyway. So. Yeah, I feel like there's a good chance that it can exist alongside them based on what we've heard so far, and then it will sort of be a duke out between like Destiny and Division. But again, because of their release time, it's almost like when Destiny like slows down, Division will speed up, and then Division will obviously hit a time where it slows down. That's probably when the Destiny update will come out, and hopefully, if that works, they can actually almost end up coexisting. But
that's not the question, Lord. Who wins? I'm putting pressure on you. I know you cover these games. I know you like these games, and we all love them. It's just a fun thing. It's not like definitely this is gonna happen. Just your gut feeling. Who do you think stands tall as the definitive game? The game that holds the player base. The game that kind of retains throughout 2019.
Oh
yeah. He said, why are you doing this to me?
Yes. I'm not trying to mess up any sponsorships or anything. I just want your gut feeling. Just, what do you think? What do you think might happen?
From what you know right now.
From what you know right
now. All right, so Division. Because Division, like, it comes out and it's got an entire year of free content. No questions asked.
Yeah, that's true.
You can like, even if the game goes badly, you can still come back and you don't have to pay a penny, and you're there for a year.
That's huge.
And then the Ubisoft thing. Ubisoft, over their past few games, they've showed that they have a dedication to their games like no one else.
So
I got you. I got Arekkz and Solve with Division in 2019. It's the steady.
I'm gonna
shoot a champ.
I'm.
That's Solve. Are you doubling down?
Yeah, I'm doubling down. I would say. I mean,
so Arekkz got we got 2 in Division. Lordy Bontis, then let's get Lord Addict. I just get Addict now because I hear you chopping at the bit, Addict.
I'm gonna say Anthem.
What? Wow.
Oh, shut up. You're just joking around.
No.
What's up?
I'll throw that in the bush.
Right now, we don't know what Division 2 is going to bring us. As of right now, to me,
it is as of right now.
Destiny's kind of dead.
Wow.
From here till September, at least. I don't know what September is going to bring us. They can tell me all they want, but then they can literally show me like, oh, here's the gold candies, and then it's like when you get it, it's like, but they're rotten on the bottom of it, but they're gold on the top.
So you're at that point. You don't trust them.
He didn't get a chance to touch.
I don't trust them. It's just like I was so disgusted with the raid layers. Like I gotta see the raids. Like that's the thing.
So right now, your Destiny trust is not there, and you're hyped for Division. You were the one that did message me from when I was at E3, and you said, "Yo, Division got raids and whatever." And then now Anthem, I never heard you really talk about. So you got Anthem.
I'm saying Anthem because first off, it's going to come out after all these games will probably be off their peak. You said 2019.
Yeah, that's
so by the end of 2019, the game people have been playing the most at that time is going to be Anthem. I mean, the Division's probably going to come out the beginning. What doesn't it at the beginning of 2019?
I forgot my dates off top. Arekkz, you might be able to help me with that.
What is it?
February 22nd, isn't it? Like, doesn't it come out that day that everything comes out?
I think so. There's a Murderer's Row day with like 4 games come out.
It's March, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe March. Yeah.
You got that time between March.
March 15th?
You got that time between March. See, when a game first debuts, especially Anthem, it's going off of BioWare, going off the age games, going off of the Mass Effect games. People expect a huge story out of it. We don't know if that's going to happen. You see they're really going.
Not to cut your chat is saying Division March 15th, Anthem February 26th. Anthem is the one that's coming out on those multiple game release date. So that's the one. So I'm sorry, continue at it.
I think Anthem, man. Like I think, to me, it's gonna be to me, it's gonna be Destiny, but I think Anthem's gonna get a better reception next year
for 2019.
I think the Anthem thing as well, just because it's the new thing that I think that people want to succeed, and like Arekkz said, like they have an opportunity to come in and elevate the shared world shooter. With a different approach to storytelling, maybe a different approach to the grind, like something different.
That's a lot of people I see say that Anthem looks like the game they wanted Destiny to be. I do see that comment a lot for the narrative guys.
Yeah, I do. I could have swore Anthem came out after, but it's still I'm still holding that. Like at the end of the day,
it's gonna be good to go back.
At the end of the day, people are going to gravitate towards the newer stuff than the stuff that's been rehashed.
Gotcha.
And especially what the kind of feeling that the game has when you see it. Like I've been the first person to be like, I don't know about Anthem, but there's a lot of hype behind this game, especially if they focus on entirely PvE and they give you like the definitive edition of raids and stuff because they're only focusing on stuff like that. Like I might go to Anthem if there's like fire raids, raids on steroids, because that's the only thing they're doing is those. But I don't even think they've announced any kind of.
They haven't announced any yet, but I see where you're going. Lord Ebontis, I need you, man.
I'm here.
Please set the record straight. Let me stop. Let me not bias you.
Well, I was like biased because we literally do a 2-hour-long discussion.
We do Flashpoint and just have to Destiny too.
So here's my piece.
Let's go.
Destiny, I think we're gonna know fairly early on from Forsaken. if it's going to make it that far. So come September, no,
even make it.
No, and that's what if it does it well.
I really like low key
because year 6 of Destiny would be September. Then you have hype before end of 2019. So you would have another year of what is the ticket?
Oh, you looking at the tickets?
I mean, you put them up to the camera. What else?
You hold them up to the camera. I'm like, and you popped up on my screen.
Like, would you guys say it's a fair assumption to say if they drop the ball in Forsaken, they're in a bad place?
Yeah,
I will totally agree with that.
Yeah,
I hope they don't, man, because I love that game. Every time I play it, I enjoy it. But I'm just like, they cannot drop the ball in Forsaken. They need to hit that ball out of the park.
I think Arekkz had a really good point that Anthem could be something different because the PvE, the PvP, it's really a looter shooter to a point. But if they lean a little more into a BioWare RPG story element situation, I would love to see that have a separate piece where you could even bounce between one or two of them. If you're Destiny or Division, you could also be one of those and Anthem. Have a way to go between both.
I think it's probably also kind of worth considering as well that like on initial sales, I reckon like Anthem will be the big one out the door because although you get like a lot of people online that all like share their voice and like say things what they do and they don't like. Ultimately, that's kind of like the vocal minority, right? So like
that is true.
The wider, the kind of casual audience, the ones that sort of bought Destiny 2 on day one and then like haven't sort of since played, like those kind of people there, they will buy Anthem because to them, Anthem is the new thing, the shiny thing. They just looks really cool. They're going to buy it, right? Whereas to them, they've seen Division before, they've seen Destiny before. So on
that's a good point.
Yeah, on initial appeal, Anthem is going to smash it out of the park, right? But obviously, with regards to like whether it by the end of 2019, it's still the one that people are playing, that might still be the difference between like Division and.
And let's be real here. People are going to refer this as it's that game with the Iron Man suit.
Well, let's be honest. Like Anthem has the aesthetic.
That's going to register.
Everybody wants to be Iron Man. So
you fun. Don't say that, Lazar. Finish, Evantis. I'm sorry. Continue.
I mean, that pretty much is it. It's like I love Destiny. I like all three of these games. The leveling up in 1 to 30 in Division was amazing. Like the end game raids in Destiny are awesome. If Anthem has its separate piece from that, there's just enough of me that I want to play all of them. I wish there was. So by the end of it, was like I think Destiny is going to know its answer by September. If it doesn't hold through, I think Anthem's newness could honestly set out.
Okay. I think the average player that plays these genres will play 2 of these, not all 3.
Yeah, Lord King, gun to your head. I need that answer, man.
You don't need to put a gun in my head. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Y'all are thinking that this Anthem is gonna be the second coming of Diablo. It's not. Okay, so y'all can just cut out the looter shooter. I'm gonna get the new clothes. So
Anthem is in the bushes for you. So Anthem's winning. Gotcha.
Please. You're gonna get a bunch of people, like you said, the casual guys, that's gonna get this game, finish it in 5 hours, and throw it in the bushes.
Oh my God!
Going in the bushes. Now,
so you got the matchup, Division and Destiny, then.
Right, and I'm gonna tell you this. I mean, Division, as much as I love you, are near and dear to my heart. Destiny's gonna smash you in the mouth. Okay, it's gonna smash you in the mouth, and this is why it's gonna smash you in the mouth. I played that Forsaken, right? And I've played that PvE aspect of it, and you jumping through that portal. There's nothing like jumping through that portal, red, and handling your business. Like I single-handedly wrecked that other squad. Like single-handedly, because it was 3 rounds that you had to go through if they can make it to the second round. You're not making it to the second round. I squashed them and I got them out. They were showing my gameplay up there because we do this Destiny stuff for real. The fast aspect of the action in Destiny is a lot faster than Division, where it's a cover-based shooter. All right, so that's sometimes off-puts people. All right, cover-based shooter, methodically moving, send your guy to flank them. That kind of stuff is different. All right, it slows down the pace, and you can push it faster if you try. Destiny has that magic when done correctly. When you're a Stormcaller and you're disappearing in between and you're blowing up in the middle, listen, they told you that they're prisoner elders. You're going to fill back up that prisoner elders type of thing. They told you that they're fixing the raids. If a champion gets knocked down, what does the champion do when he gets up? This champion is coming, and he's bringing that fire. All right, you have raids that you are dying for. Listen, they have the ace in the hole. Mm-hmm. If they ever say that they have a old raid like a Crota raid remastered,
like a Volta Glass.
Do you understand what it sounds like when they say Volta Glass remastered? How many people's coming back in? Like, when in doubt, they have a nuclear weapon that they can drop at any time, and they know this, and they're holding it.
Mm-hmm. But so, I highly doubt they would ever do that.
I won't put it past a losing champion to throw that haymaker and knock you out cold.
How would they how would you?
So King, let me say one thing to you on this, and this is me coming from somebody who loves Destiny. Mm-hmm. If they have those aces in the hole and they're really, really feeling confident, I don't think they would have dropped the story bomb they did at E3. That was a marketing ploy, and I wish they wouldn't have done that, because if I would have played the story in Destiny and mission one or two, whatever that happens, and seen that happens, my mind would have been exploded. Yeah. So I wish that would have not been shown, and if they feel they had to do that, they feel they have to still push.
They while it's like on their neck,
I know, yeah. So I was like, that's just one of those things. It's
Yo, Ebontis, I actually really listen to every Flashpoint. I actually watch every Flashpoint, and I know your feeling on it. All right, and I want you to understand. Lord Cognito is going to tell you. I mean, when I walked away from Destiny, and I was doing other things. I'm PUBG to the death.
Nice.
Shout out.
That's what's up.
Listen to me when I'm telling you that Forsaken is coming, and when it hits, it's going to hit and it's going to reverberate. If you look at the content on Xbox right now, Destiny is number 8.
Yeah,
that's without Forsaken
in the dead period. Destiny is number 8 on the most played games list on Xbox Live.
I'm just saying,
big deal.
When it drops, it's gonna hold weight. And you got these other games that's coming out. I don't want to take anything away from Anthem, but I'm telling you,
you did say
try hard.
You did say throw in the bushes.
I'm throwing it. I'm throwing it straight in the bushes. It has 3 things going against it. EA. All right, that's one. All right. All right, so the confidence in EA, I have absolutely zero.
Right. And he's not alone. A lot of
people feel that way
in the industry are feeling EA at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. All right. The whole PvP.
No PvP. Yeah.
All right. And then how much content can you put in a one-player game without burning through it?
But he did say 4. I mean, it is 4-player drop in, drop out. I mean, we did.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I can join your world. That's cute. I mean, that's real cute.
But essentially, Division and Destiny do the same thing. I mean,
yeah, but they do the same thing, and they have other stuff that can hold your time.
But in fairness to Anthem, we don't know as of right now. We just don't know it. We just don't.
Yeah, we don't know that they don't have PvP because they said it. Listen, Destiny. Listen, I done dragged this out. I done pulled it out, and I'm telling you, Destiny.
All right.
Well, hands down,
Destiny. Kill this topic, man. All right. I think everyone is on fire right now. Lord Arekkz is on fire. Bond, everyone, even Addict. I understand where he's coming from, man.
What does that mean? Even Addict?
Even you with your wildness. Even you, I agree with.
There's some bus tracks on your back here.
I'm gonna break it down. Like, the way I look at it is, the strengths of each. You know what I'm saying? And I'll start with the least person who I think. I'm worried about Anthem in one state. I think that King is nailing a lot of points. The thing I'm worried about Anthem, y'all, is the release date. And shout out to the chat, because people acting like Days Gone, Exodus, and these other games, they all dropping crack. I mean, I know people laugh at Crackdown, but 4 games are dropping that release date. That's insane. And we've all seen EA make tactical errors.
Another big thing
to release dates.
It's looking like exclusive.
The Titanfall 2, Battlefield, y'all not paying attention. I'm like, if they don't move as of right now, if they stay on that date, that's a problem.
Slaughtered.
And another thing that you have to look at is this is a multi-plat. Well, that day, 2 exclusives from two different
things. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, they have to move that date. But knowing EA, I'm concerned that they will stay stubborn, and they've already delayed the game once already. Arekkz, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Didn't Anthem already get delayed once?
Well, they didn't actually like officially announce the date. Like they kind of announced they were sort of like a rough window, but I think until they officially announce the date and then push it back, it hasn't technically been delayed.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the game, this is no disrespect on the game. The game looks great.
I think it was delayed internally, though. I don't think it was
maybe internally. Yeah. So it's like I want the game to succeed. Like Casey Hudson's my dude from Mass Effect. Like I want this game to succeed. The 4-player look built. Shout out with me and like I said, Sam told me that at the EA play, we got a chance to see. I know Arekkz, you got a chance to see that demo. It looked great. I like the verticality. I like going under the water. The javelins look cool. Shout out to Arekkz. Watch his videos. He's got great videos on the Arekkz. I mean the javelins that we know so far. So I'm just worried about that release, yo. And no PvP, like King said. That's the thing. Division for me, as a Destiny fan, is who I'm scared of, right? I'm nervous. I'm like, them dudes, they coming. You know what I mean? Like they like Lord Arekkz said, like they took everything the community said, they built it back up. They even added a dedicated PvP mode as well as a Dark Zone, correct? Or no? Am I wrong on that?
I mean, that was in number 1. Yeah.
Right, in part one. So, now we're talking 8-player raids. You're talking, all this stuff. And
I think 8-player raids are a little bit overkill, to be honest.
True, but at least
sometimes I had a hard time finding 6 on occasion.
They got it. You know what I'm saying?
I can't imagine having to okay, we got 4. We need 2 more. Okay, let me look. Now it's going to be like, okay, we got 4. We need 4 more.
Listen, I got
to World of Warcraft
the
and
fact
40
that they
people.
have something... another 4 that you can do is pretty impressive, right? They still got the Dark Zone. People love the Dark Zone. And one thing that the Division does well, shout out to Lord Kaibatsu, is for the people who love more hardcore MMO sensibilities with mid-maxing and gear sets, and you watch them Arekkz videos, he'd be killing it with the gear set. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is something Destiny doesn't do. People complain, like Ibantis, you know how we complain about armor and things the way they are.
Armor is empty right now. There's 5 in my inventory that does nothing, and I hate that.
Division has sentiments that change the game based on the build and all that stuff. So they're coming, as far as I'm concerned. I'm definitely nervous. The thing that I only feel that I think hurts them, and you guys may disagree, is I feel because it's so based on realism, and you have the human element, right? And there's no, Destiny has magic and mysticism, Division, you're shooting a guy in a hoodie a lot of time. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Right. So for some, for the tactical guys, they're cool. But for some people, it may take them out of the element. And I guess that was my little thing with them sometimes. Even if they added zombies, something, just to kind of, make it feel like why I'm shooting this guy in the hoodie 35,000 times and they don't feel spongy. I just want to see how they address that. That's my only weakness. And with Destiny, obviously, I'm biased. Yes, Destiny's in a very bad place when it started. You know what I'm saying? It's been improving. Watch them damn flashpoints for my boy Ubantis for me ever since. But the thing is this. Right now, with Warmind alone, people are just loving those improvements. And like King said, look where it's at as far as most games played. They're starting to understand why the hell people like the game in the beginning, the hardcore, the grind. That's what Destiny guys like, and good rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like these catalysts and stuff like that. I will agree with Arekkz though. If Forsaken bombs, it's over. It doesn't even matter. If Forsaken bombs, I have from good authority, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bontis, and a lot of the content creators from the Destiny community that went to the community summit, they know of things that I can't say, and it's NDA. We can't talk about it. But at the end of the day, it sounds amazing. You know what I'm saying? And from what I touched at E3 with Gambit and Arekkz, I know you touched Gambit. What did you feel about Gambit?
I liked it. Yeah, it was really good.
I thought Gambit was something unique.
I'm just looking forward to going through that portal and throwing down a Nova Bomb on people.
Absolutely. I think Destiny is in a strong position if Forsaken delivers. I think they got it.
It's looking like it's gonna deliver, but I'm not going to.
We've been burned, and I get it. I totally get it. We've all been burned. We felt, why did this thing come out the way it did? You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm biased. I'm taking nothing away from Division. I'm taking Anthem could be phenomenal as well. I'm not taking anything. This was my gut is telling me, because in the dark days with Ibantis, I'd be honest, I didn't even think Destiny 2 would get to where it is now where people are playing it. It was bad, man. People were laughing at me in the Bontis. Why are you doing a Destiny 2 thing now? When the thing was there. But that's what I got, man. That's what I got.
The question is it strong enough to carry over
Yeah, that's
all
gonna
the way,
that's
all the way to February and March.
That's a good point. And the reason why I have confidence, Sovereign, you're making a fantastic point. The reason why I have confidence is because since then, not only has Bungie been supremely transparent, not only do we get updates every month, they've even changed now the structure. The only argument that kills what I'm saying is what Arekkz is saying, is that Division's coming with them free updates. That's a big deal. That's not to be understated. You know what I mean? Having free content, woo, that's something that's
look at Monster World.
Yeah, that's something not good. But that's what I got on the top. This is fantastic.
That was pretty much CatCon spirit.
Look, man, we're going over a little bit, so I want to check in. I know Bontis, you got to run, I'm assuming, right? I know you got to run real quick. And then Arekkz, do we got you? Because I know we got you a little long, man, and I want to hold you up too. How you doing over there?
I'm good for like another sort of like 15, 20 minutes or like that.
Okay, cool. So we'll blaze through the topic with the crossovers. Solve, are you okay with us holding on to Yeti?
I honestly, it didn't really fit for the people we have on today. But I do want to relate one thing back to actually Anthem, Destiny.
Go for it.
And Division 2, right? And not necessarily with Yeti, but with everything that's going on with like Microsoft looking to open up their walled garden more, right? Like cross play with Nintendo, Minecraft, like Fortnite. Do you think any of these games, Anthem, Division 2, and Destiny, obviously it doesn't apply, none of these apply to Switch, but do you think any of these games further that discussion? Shut up, King. Do you think any of these games further that discussion about PlayStation jumping into this crossplay thing, being pushed into it? Do you think?
I think if there's any game doing, it's going to be Fortnite. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Just because
nothing else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing else is going to put pressure on any party to get that done, but Fortnite.
I think it's. I don't think it's this gen. If it's to happen, I mean, it got to be Fortnite.
I think the cross progression. I think they're going to cave on that eventually, but the cross play.
Yeah, I don't see it. They just. I mean, they're the market leader. They have a dominant position. There's no reason, and even though it's anti-consumer, yes, of course, you know what I'm saying. But there's no reason for them to do it. That's just my gut. I don't know what everybody else's think, but we're gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got that. Lord Addict, man, you got a fun one. Let's book in this last topic with crossovers, man.
I actually made this topic for you, Arekkz. With the crossover from we were talking about earlier, the Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy, you don't see this a whole lot in the industry at all. Actually, that's kind of like with the whole Sony thing. It's like you're kind of my competitors, so why are we cross marketing our games like that? But with that happening, what is another game that you would like to see a crossover of two different games? It could be anything. It could even, the only thing I would speculate is don't cross over consoles, because that will never happen. Like third party stuff, that is in any realm that is a possibility, but like Sony, like Master Chief's never going to be in like Battle Royale.
I mean, having said that,
I don't know. Never seen that.
I mean, like, I would love to see like a load of so Smash Brothers, one of my favorite series.
Woo!
Yeah, imagine that, right? Imagine if they did actually do this in light of like, let's just say, right, Nintendo went to Microsoft and like, you know what? Since we're doing this crossplay thing, how would you like to take one of your Microsoft characters and throw it into Smash Brothers? Give me like a Master Chief in Smash Brothers, because the crazy thing is, right? I mean, like, obviously we've had, although it's it's not strictly. I mean, you look at like Metal Gear Solid's been like Nintendo platforms before, but obviously we've got Snake in Smash Brothers. We've got Pac-Man showed up, Sonic showed up. Of course, like for a while, Sega and Nintendo used to be like head-to-head, like Microsoft and Sony were. So like that's not too crazy. But I mean, imagine if they did that and they actually went to like everyone, right? And if they did this as this kind of this attempt to be like a big peace party, right? Like, go to Microsoft, like, hey, give us one of your characters. Go to Sony, hey, give us one of your characters. And suddenly, like, Nintendo is like Smash Brothers has like you can do those big battles. That would be crazy.
You know what would be cool?
What's that?
Is if first off, I'm gonna say this right now. If any kind of Super Smash Brothers type game is ever made for the other platforms, they're gonna have to outsource that to Nintendo. Like that would be cool if, like, right now, I think it would be more of a possibility between Microsoft and Nintendo, because they have a better relationship at the moment. But I would like it would be cool if like Nintendo made a Super Smash Brothers for PlayStation for Xbox with all the Xbox characters.
Yeah.
And then there was a cross-play between their Super Smash Brothers and our Super Smash Brothers that you can only use people from that game to that game. You can't use any of the other ones from the other games.
That'd be funny. So you can then actually have like your console battles, like Xbox versus Nintendo.
Yeah, that gotta be interesting. Yeah, man, this is a fun topic. I mean, for me, it's like I think the crossover thing is just a cool thing. I look at a game like Tekken 7. And I think what Namco, Bandai, and these guys, Harada and these guys, I think they got it down because I'll never forget my face when I saw Akuma jump in that screen. And not only did he jump in, they were like, he's canon. You know what I'm saying? In the story. So I'm like, wow, then, since then it's been, Geese Howard from Fatal Fury and Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. And I'm just like, wow. Like, and it doesn't feel like sometimes people do guest characters, but I feel like
Garrett from The Witcher, man. That was crazy.
They got Garrett, dude. Namco is killing. And then Lord Arekkz, you gotta back me up on this, man. Jump Force, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bro.
That game is so good.
People are sitting there like Ichigo's not it. I was like, you guys are idiots if you think Shonen Jump's not putting Ichigo in a game. Like,
although it's interesting because they've actually said since then that like one of the characters they showed in the trailer, obviously like what's his name, Light and
he's not playable.
He's not playable. Yeah. So like he's not. So everyone kind of saw that at the end of the trailer. They're like, oh, cool. So the fact that we've seen characters from Death Note, surely that means there's gonna be a ton more. But the fact they've said they'll be in the story, but you won't play as them. It could potentially limit the roster on that.
I kind of feel like that was like in a low key false advertising. Like you're showing these characters fight each other, and you show Light Yagami and Ryu just randomly like, yo, you can't use them though. What?
Well, I feel like someone needs to make a montage, right? Because I feel like to a certain degree, right, this E3 was also like the year of the bait because they were like there were a few things. Yeah, they dropped that trailer that looked like it was gonna be Skate and it wasn't Skate. They dropped that Gears of War trailer when it was actually Funko Pops. Obviously they filmed it with a real one. Right? We got the Light thing. I think there was something else as well. There was something else that came in. There were like four or five different things. It was just like, wait, what? Oh, how you gonna do me like this, man? Yeah.
No doubt, man. Lord Saw, man, what do you feel about guest characters in video games and that whole?
I mean, it's great because it shakes up the formula of that game, and lets you know that people are willing to do silly stuff with their properties, like Killer Instinct on Xbox. They had one of the Battletoads in there. They got one point. Was it Killer Instinct? They had the female Master Chief, or was that Dead or Alive? And the
there's a female Master Chief.
There's a female Spartan. It was a female Spartan.
I didn't even know that.
So that stuff is fun, man. I love to see that. Like we were talking with Lord Foggy last week. I would love to see like Halo vehicles and stuff. I would love.
We're trying to make them blow the budget.
Yeah, I know.
Guest characters and lightsabers and the Warthog.
Like imagine like if you have a Juggernaut coming at you in State of Decay and you walk out of your house in like a Mjolnir armor or something like that and take them. Stuff like that is just cool. It's fun. So like, and I think what it does is it introduces characters from that property into another property that maybe doesn't have the crossover in fandom. So like, if somebody could be invested in a different type of game that they normally wouldn't be. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, shout out to Zero. He said General Ram was in Killer Instinct too.
Yeah, that's right.
And my next thing is, what do you guys think is the best crossover you've seen?
Oh, for me, it's Tekken 7. I'm just going there. I'm sorry. I'm a Tekken head. I've never seen that before. I know you guys are the anime guys. I know Jump Force probably got it for you guys and all this outfit, but I've never seen that. Like just to see those historic franchises. We know they kind of messed with the Street Fighter versus Tekken. You know what I'm saying? But it was really not canon. I think the fact that Tekken 7 said this is canon, he killed this person, and I was like, what? And he looked like he fit. Like that's nothing. Some characters they don't. It's just like okay, we're throwing them in. Like he looked like he fit, man. The fighting community went crazy. I'll never forget that day when I saw Akuma. Even the Street Fighter guys were like, "Yo, I am picking up Tekken." Like it's on now. Like so, that was for me.
I think the best one is Kingdom Hearts by far. Like, when it comes to a lot of these games have crossover stuff splashed in them, but Kingdom Hearts was built from the core to be a crossover.
Yeah.
I think Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe is cool. I thought it was, that's something you just didn't expect to see. I would love to have seen people die in it, but that wasn't gonna happen. But for me, old school, and King will know this. Like, remember Fighters Mega Mix from the Sega Saturn back in the day? They had everybody and their mother was in that game. Everybody from Sega Stable was in that game. You even had a playable car from Sega Rally or something like that.
Yeah, they had a car. Yeah.
What I would like to see is kart racing with all the major characters. Like you have Sonic versus Crash Bandicoot versus Mario.
I want to see Peach with a gravity hammer.
And I actually would like to use my Switch. So like we can actually put them all like Kratos versus Master Chief, and stuff like that. I like kart racing type of games. Yeah. So I could see it happen in a kart racing type of world. Like they get all warped out. You can have a nice little story around it. Like Eggman gets together with Arekkz and forms this big ass machine and he starts sucking people in.
And then Arekkz kills Eggman. Be like, this is
a lot of people putting some good suggestions in the chat, man. Soul Cal, a lot of people. Good stuff. It's a good topic, man. Let's get the if anybody got anything else on the guest characters, let's get the poll and get the outro so we can get Lord Arekkz out of here, man.
I think Monster Hunter's probably just like king on on a lot of their crossovers. They've done so many in their history. I mean, like there's just in some of them they never made it out of Japan because obviously like IP restrictions and stuff, but they've had like crossovers with like manga and anime. They've had crossovers with like actual like brands. They had like Uniqlo crossovers, so you could just get like clothes from there like in game. They've had like the ones from like Shonen Jump. They've had like game crossovers, so there was obviously like Zelda, Mario, Metro and things like that. So they've just had so many. They just grabbed them left, right, and center. So it's they're definitely super good. And also like another like crossover fighter that I missed. There was obviously only ever one of them. But do you remember Tatsunoko versus Capcom?
Oh, don't you do that. Don't you do that, Lord Arekkz. That's my best.
That was so good.
G-Force? Oh my God.
He's talking about that. We got to stop him right now.
Oh,
we got to.
Exactly.
About got you, man. You talking about my G-Force?
Yeah.
I feel like we need like a dedicated fighting game episode because there's so many things here. But
we got to. Yeah, we would have to do a dedicated. We can go on for that. You know what's the sad part, Lord Arekkz? I never got a chance to play that.
No!
I've never. Where can I get it? Is it even
it's on a Wii, man? You gotta go get a Wii.
It was a Wii game.
It was Wii. Yeah, I even bought the arcade stick for that, just for that game.
Oh man! Now let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you because I was hardcore. Gotcha, man. Like, did they have like each of the G-Force characters? Did they have their unique thing? Like, did my man Mark had a boomerang? Did they have their thing? Like their unique attributes?
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah,
I gotta get that game, man. I didn't know about that.
My son got it upstairs right now for the Wii.
Okay, I'm coming over, King. I got
it. Come on,
bro. I've never seen it. I heard of it.
So
I
good,
never
man.
played it, man.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. Shout out to Lord Arekkz for that one. That was a gem. Man. Let's wrap this thing up, man. So we got the poll for coming up for next week. So we're gonna, now that the dust from E3 2018 has settled, this is courtesy of Lord King, y'all, by the way. Which of these titles is your most anticipated game for purchase? A, Ghost of Tsushima. B, Cyberpunk 2077. And I know Arekkz got some things to talk about that, but under NDA. And C, Last of Us 2. Or D, I don't care, Gears Pop Mobile and Gears Tactics for the win. That is the question.
Don't make fun of my Gears Tactics, dude. That game's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know. Too bad it's PC exclusive. That is the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the ILP vote when it goes up tomorrow on Twitter. Lord Arekkz, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm. Oh man, I could talk to you all day. I was like, look, I gotta get him out on time, man.
I literally super enjoyed it.
Dude, super huge fan. Absolute pleasure to have you in the realm. Been following you for so long. This was a dream interview. You're definitely on was on the bucket list for something I've always wanted to do as an interview. First of all, where can the people find you, and what do you have going on?
So they can find us predominantly on YouTube, so youtube.com/ArexG. Also be on Twitter, just Arekkz, and obviously hit up 26 on Twitter. He's 269.
Shout out to 26.
Paradox Central is
Twitch is crazy sometimes, man.
Yeah,
like, he won a game of I saw like a clip from Twitter where he won a game in a Mario Tennis, and I was like, yo, that man is not rotating in his chair like that.
It's so good, so good.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and there's like what got going on. So yeah, I guess kind of like sort of the downtime at the moment. So we're just like dipping into all the stuff post E3, kind of trying to sort of ramp up now just on coverage for like all the key pillars now. So Monster Hunter, Destiny, Division, and Anthem. Just trying to sort of keep people up to date on them. So yeah, if you want to follow those, keep it locked. And then, yeah, that's kind of it.
Man. Absolute pleasure, man. This guy, I'm gonna tell you guys, this guy has fantastic content. If you are not subscribed to Arekkz Gaming, something's wrong. You better get over there and get subscribed. And also, this man has some of the best. The IRL series, the in real life series, are some of the best vlogs I have ever seen. It really gives you a feeling of being at these conventions. Even the one that you did in Japan was awesome. That's something, a dream of mine that I've always wanted to do. And shout out to you and your homie that went out there and just really gave the day-to-day experience. They even rode the bullet train, y'all. They rode the bullet train.
So good.
Awesome.
It was awesome. And he even did his work in, wasn't it like a tornado or tsunami? Something was going on out there.
Yeah, tsunami, yeah.
And Lord
it was horrifying. Yes.
I'm looking at him with my umbrella, trying to look at the same time.
Dude, look, that's the dedication Lord Arekkz gives to you, y'all. He's out there through natural disasters, giving you that content, man.
and I gotta shout out Lord Arekkz. This man got the best thumbnails in the business.
Oh, facts.
Like if there's anything, like I like the content creators that like their thumbnails is designed after a template, and you know that's them. Like I would say the Red Dragon, he has that kind of template. You know it's his you know, you have like horror nightmares when you see Red Dragon thumbnails sometimes.
Red Dragon's good.
That Arekkz got those like timid black those great font with the, and it's like you would think that font wouldn't go with what he has in the back, but somehow he does it.
And shout out to
he's talking thumbnail talk, guys.
Thumbnail talk, y'all.
Just when he went Chinese on you, I understand.
And shout out to 269 because even though we didn't have a chance, we didn't get him today. But I'm assuming he also does the video editing and stuff like that behind the scene, like.
Yeah, predominantly he's like we plan all the content together, and then I edit videos, he does live streams, and that's kind of sort of like how we
gotcha. Dude, you guys fantastic team together, like the editing, the live streams, the whole thing, man. Please support these guys, good guys in the community. I want you guys to support them, man. Lord Addict, where can people find you? What do you have going on?
Right now you can't find me anywhere, man. Like I'm on this XCOM grind.
No,
he'll pop up in my chat every once in a while and do some creeper mode. I don't know what's going on.
I'm trying to beat XCOM before the broken XCOM deletes my save file again, okay? Like, there's a chance I could go in there today and it's gone. So I'm trying to beat it that way. When I do go in there and it's still, at least I beat it. I'm done.
AKA 2K game, fix your game. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, fix your game, man. But yeah, I do want to thank Lord Arekkz, man. I've been following you for a while too. I remember I probably showed that Zelda how to fight all that Arbiter, probably 80 people. Because they would be like, whoa, what kind of armor is in Zelda? I'm like, I got the perfect video. But I definitely appreciate you for coming on, man. Like,
pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I've actually been looking forward to this. I actually, me and the Lord Cognito met you at E3 last year.
Yeah, we met you this year, but we met you in passing. In passing. Yeah. We met you and 26 in the street. It was all of us. We actually did meet you quickly in the street that one time. I forgot about that. You're right.
Oh, nice.
You before. No doubt, man. Lord Sovereign, what you got going on? And what's the fine people find
going on? Let me see. Yeah, well, Lord Arekkz, thank you for coming through, man. I don't.
Thank you.
I'm not into Destiny like these guys are, but I have to say that when I was playing Destiny, I too am always on VG 24/7. And when I needed to know where Zer was, every Friday morning, I was like, wait, let's go see where Zer is. So I love your content, fantastic. Thank you for being here. Let me see real quick for the Patreon guys. I know we had to pay these bills first of the month. Lord Cognito and I we sort of spaced it today. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna take care of you next week's show. Make sure we take care of all of our Patreon subscribers. Also big shout out to Amazon Italy, who's trying to take away the title from Walmart Canada. During the show, during the show, they leaked Splinter Cell and Bloodborne 2.
What?
During the show, they leaked Bloodborne 2. I actually
Splinter Cell.
My Twitter's been going bananas.
Wow,
I've been looking at it like, wow.
That's an exclusive. Okay.
I expect some coverage there, Lord Arekkz.
All right, we expect Lord Arekkz on that. He gonna be on that. Lord King, where can the fine people find you? What you got going on?
All right, you can. First of all, this is an early birthday present for me.
Happy born day, Lord King, tomorrow.
Thank you. Yes.
Happy birthday tomorrow.
You are my birthday present. This is like, to say this is probably one of my most anticipated interviews, and I'm not slighting anyone. I'm up for everybody, but for you specifically, like Lord Arekkz said, the content you gave for Zelda, it's a lot of things. I can just go back, and you're my reference point for damn near all of it. So everything that you have put out, either I have watched it and glanced on or watched it to completion. And I've hit that like, and I definitely subscribe, and I'm definitely like spreading the gospel of your channel. When you sign on, and because I'm getting my streaming and stuff together, you're inspiring me to make sure that I come with an A game, so that I don't put up a video and it's like it's not that quality. Presentation and your first impression is your best impression, and your first impression on me was the greatest impression. So I just want to say I am very happy among anybody that's even watching or understands what's going on right now. I'm fanboying completely out.
Trust me, don't worry about King. I beat you. I fanboyed. I was like, I need a picture now. I said, dude, I'm fanboy. I don't care. He was like,
listen,
dude, all good.
I wouldn't have known him by the visual, but if I had my back turned and he had said something, I would have turned around like,
but that's another Destiny video.
So,
another thing, man. Shout out to Arekkz. He's the reason I know how to use more than like 2 weapons on Monster Hunter.
I tried. Your videos tried.
Every time I try to I want to use a different weapon. Let's see what Arekkz made a video on it.
No doubt.
You can find me on Twitter. Also, I'd like to shout out I finally cracked 2,000 followers.
Woo! Jesus.
And that was the hard work from E3.
Facts.
I appreciate everything. Thank y'all so much. And I'm really at really a loss for words. I can't bloviate and say how much high praises for this man as much as I can. But thank you. I appreciate you giving your time and to even come here. This is amazing day for me.
Absolutely. Happy born day to the King. Real quick, shout out to JD Gamer in the chat for the donation. Microsoft should acquire a Japanese developer to make the biggest / in next gen Sega Capcom. But thank you so much, JD Gamer, for the contribution. And of course, here's me, Lord Cognito. Here again. Thanks again, Lord Arekkz. It's just a tremendous guest, tremendous pleasure. Oh man, so much fun. Make sure the Lords, everybody, hit that like and subscribe. Also, the ILP Patreon, like Lord Soft said, will be up. We'll take care of everybody next week. We just wanted to pay respect, obviously, to the great Arekkz. We didn't want to have to take care of that right now, but we will take care of all that. Please subscribe to the Inner Circle Network, media outlets. Links are in the description. Shout out to Lordy Bontes for coming through. You know what I'm saying? We got Flashpoint 22 will be up. We have Flashpoint 21 up. It was a great discussion on Destiny, what's going on right now. Getting ready for Forsaken. Lord Kaibatsu will handle the audio later tonight, and the stamps with the timestamps will be up. Everybody enjoy your Sunday, but also make sure y'all give King that happy birthday, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody enjoy your Sunday. And
shout out to everyone. Go ahead and do that at King David and say who did that for you.
Yeah, everybody, happy birthday, King David.
No. Throw him in the bushes.
Throw him in the bushes. No doubt. Everybody enjoy your Sunday, man. Have a good one. Peace.